and hello and welcome to the 85th episode of GameSpeak Podcast. New episodes go up for free every Wednesday in audio format on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and Spotify, and all of your favorite podcast directories, and in video format on YouTube, so you can see us in stunning HD. This show is two childhood BFFs bringing you all things video games. I'm sorry, guys, if I'm reading this really weird. I didn't realize that these goggles were going to be prohibiting
the 5% tint, the 10% tint.
It's the tint, and it's like I can't reach it, but I can't reach the microphone.
Your field of view is narrowed in this bitch.
Well, see, it'd be fine if the glasses didn't also have, like, rims on them, like, on the edges.
They're just not very practical.
Yeah, like, even if it was steamy in here, these steampunk goggles just don't seem practical. Well, happy Halloween, guys.
Yeah.
Let me finish introducing the show. Yeah, we're two childhood BFFs, and you can find us online at createforsanity.com. where you can listen to episodes, subscribe for behind-the-scenes news, read some radical articles, and buy some awesome, sick-ass t-shirts from our shop. Also,
pretty sick.
Yeah, they're pretty sick. Be sure to join the community in the Facebook group at facebook.com/group/GameSpeak Podcast to hang and talk games with other nerds like us. I'm one of your hosts, Jamal Aljaafreh, alongside Brent Bass.
What's up, man? How's life treating you? Happy Halloween. Happy Halloweenies.
It's definitely treating me well.
It's not tricking you.
No, hopefully not. I don't want to be life's trick. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta just whoop that trick, you know?
Wow. We don't condone whooping tricks on here, okay, guys?
Only tricks that come with treats.
Yeah, only
Not...
GameSpeak Podcast, everyone. No, yeah. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about before we actually jump into the show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
First off, I'm very proud of this.
Yeah, tell me.
Very proud.
Tell me
of
what
this.
you're proud of.
I watched the movie Thomas Shepard asked us to watch.
The Lobster?
On time. No, not the. I did watch that, but I didn't really watch it. I just didn't watch it in time. I'm talking about the Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Yeah.
And I've got a lot to say about this.
Okay.
Let me hear it. First off, I read some reviews. Most of the reviews are like, refreshing take on the horror genre, blah, blah, blah. It's got like an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes. So I go in.
I thought it was all right.
High expectations. The movie, in my honest opinion, is garbage. Okay, first off, Thomas,
what?
I'm gonna go straight. Am
I thinking of the right movie? Right, this is the one where they're like reanimating the corpse or whatever.
I mean, I guess you could say that, but no, it's about like there's like a murder scene at the very beginning of the movie, and you see the cops like going through the murder scene. They're like, "Oh, this is fucking weird." And underneath the building, underneath the house that the murder took place at, they find a corpse that is like very fresh looking, but has no relation to the murder. They're like, okay, this is weird. Why is this chick, here? And
oh yeah. I have seen this one too.
And the cop walks up and she's like, funny thing is, it doesn't look like somebody was trying to get in or break in. It looks like they were trying to get out. Anyway, so that line starts you off with the movie. Okay, so you already know what you're in for. You're in for these shitty one-liners, which I'm not against.
It's a horror movie.
I'm not against it.
Expect some shitty one-liners, bro.
I'm not against it, except for the fact that I went in expecting it to be classy. Okay, I thought this was going to be some Christopher Nolan-ass shit.
See,
all
no,
right?
what the problem is, I can tell you exactly what the problem is, because it's not a terrible movie.
No, hold on. Wait, what the problem with the movie is?
No, the problem just in general
is
that you just got done watching The Haunting on Hill House.
That too.
Which is one of the best fucking like horror shows ever made. You know what I mean? In my opinion.
I agree.
Personally,
I think it was great.
It was really good. And I feel like that may have cast like a shadow over how you perceive this movie.
It's how I wanted to perceive it. I was like, okay, that's a TV show, and if they can provide this quality, then this goddamn movie better provide that quality. But I didn't expect it to be like Haunting of Hill House. So my thing, the pacing was utter shit in this movie. Like, the pacing was so fast Like the protagonist.
I like how it just gets right to the point.
I don't like how it gets to the point because you don't
like
know any of the characters at all. So like the dad and the son, they run this fucking crematorium place, but they're also like the autopsy people. Like I don't know how that works.
Again, it's one of those self-aware movies. Like it doesn't need, you don't need to get involved with the characters. It realizes that. It just cuts the shit. It's like Crank or fucking one of those movies, or like
was it meant to be that way?
You know what I mean?
It was. The Strangers was better than this. It was creepier too. So
The Strangers was great, but the point is, like, they got right to the point with The Strangers. They're like, okay, this couple's breaking up.
Yeah, but they built up character. The two were in a marriage that, like, or not in a marriage.
5 minutes.
No, they weren't even married. So, like, that was the cool part about it, was that they were going out there because he had set up this thing. It was supposed to be a romantic getaway, but she actually ended up being like, I don't want to marry you right now. And so, like, through the whole movie, you have this, held over your head. You know that they're in this awkward situation. And, like, he had the wine bottle ready for celebration and all this stuff, but that he ends up using it to get drunk because she said no. And, like, that's why he's kind of belligerent and things are going the way they're going.
Yeah, but that whole sequence took, like, maybe 10 minutes.
No, it didn't.
Know what I mean? Like,
it took a while. It took a pretty good chunk of time.
Maybe I need to go back and rewatch The Strangers.
Yeah.
But I feel like it got to the point pretty fucking quick with The Strangers.
Also with this movie, first off, the girlfriend somehow ends up downstairs in the place and, like, jump scares him. And I'm like, first off, I'd be like, bitch, you just broke into our business. Like it was like after hours or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's like, come on, show me the bodies. And like, and I'm like, okay, first off, I'd be like, fuck you. Why are you here? You know, like, I don't know if I could date a girl that was just all about wanting to see dead bodies. Like, I'd be like, this is
that's weird.
Not a joke.
That's weird.
You know, and then the dad's all cool with it. He's like, yeah, let her see. And he's like supposed to be this, like, old, knowledgeable, you know, wise man who's been at this forever.
Maybe he's just trying to help his son get laid or whatever. You know what I mean?
I'm sure, but his son doesn't seem to want that. But anyway, so, like, they're looking at the bodies, and she's like, that's not the one I wanted to see. I want to see the other one. After she saw the dead one from melanoma or whatever, mesothelioma. No, I'm just kidding. But they pull out this one body, and it's got a bell hooked to the toe, and, like,
right.
He's like, oh, yes.
That's, like, the only thing I remember from that movie is the bell on the toe.
Which is dumb, because why did he only put it on that corpse? That's my real question. But anyway,
my question is why put it on... Well, I think maybe he already did the autopsy on the other corpse?
No. The bell is just to... He was like, oh, it's a tradition. It's an old... No, he didn't even say tradition. He said it was an old-fashioned thing that they used to do back in the day. It's very similar to the idea of whenever you put somebody under the ground and they have the bell with the string. So, like, if they're not actually dead. But in this case, they completely made this shit up just for this. And then...
Is that made up? That's not
I'm pretty sure that's made up. I'm pretty sure that they don't have to put bells on people before they throw them in a fucking crematorium because they'd know if they were dead. Anyway, so...
You never know, man.
What are you going to do? Stop the fucking fire when you hear the bell?
Yes.
You're not going to hear the fucking bell. They'd scream before that.
You don't know that way. Maybe they're, like, paralyzed or something.
But even in that case, he didn't have them in that when that happened. He had them in, like, the little, like, safe place or whatever. They weren't getting
I mean, I definitely see the flaw in the logic as far as the movie goes.
Yeah, but like, then she's like, so why do you have it on here if it's, like, you know, something from the 1800s? And he's like, I guess you could call me something of a traditionalist. And it's like...
Okay, you can't just be being a traditionalist with people's fucking dead bodies, like
with only one of the, like, many bodies you have there. They just did that just so they could have a character that people would later be like, oh, Pyramid Head, oh, fucking Bell Toe over here. You know, it's like,
okay, you've got a really good point there. That's one of those things, though, that if you don't, like, think about it in the theater, you know, like, you would never.
Problem is I think. And so, and further into this, as it happens, they're so accepting of what's happening. There's never a point where they're like, no, this doesn't make sense. Except for one, and it's when the dad, after they've already seen, like, 3 fucking reanimated corpses walking around, he's like, no. Like, because they find the tattoos on the inside of the girl's skin, and he's like, that's not possible. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? that's not possible, but these fucking zombies walking around are possible. Fucking Belto is possible. But anyways, so, and then the son's like, but look, Dad, there's zombies everywhere. And he's like, oh, you're right. And then they just fucking forget about that whole little second where he like sat down and started, questioning his like reality. But anyways,
again, that's one of those things, like I guess I didn't think about too much at the time.
Yeah, it's just too quick, and like you don't care about any of these characters. The girlfriend shows back up, like you already know this is gonna happen. I'm like, okay, somebody's got to die here. It's gonna be the girlfriend because she's leaving. And, he ends up, he's like, babe, is it cool if like I stay and cut open this body with my dad while we have this like these weird like like cheap movie scripted conversations together about the body where it's like he'll like flip something out and he's like, we're gonna need 2 doses of whatever blah 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 over here. We're gonna have to cut that open. Look at that. What does that look like to you? I've seen that before. But the son is supposed to be learning from the dad, but for some reason the son knows shit that the dad doesn't know sometimes. I'm like, I get it. I get you're trying to be cool, like with the way you wrote this, but it's not M. Night Shyamalan-ing me. Like I don't feel it. I don't feel the realness here. It felt fake. Anyways, so terrible movie. But
that's a little critical. I liked it.
Look, you put a movie in front of me to criticize. I'm gonna critique it. I watched it just for Thomas, just so I could see what he wanted. And honestly, I thought I was going to go in and like this one. I thought I was going to like it.
That's the problem. I think you went in with your bar set a little too high. I didn't think I was going to like it, and I thought it was a pretty fun little romp. It wasn't...
That's what you call it, a romp.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't no, Hereditary. It wasn't no Oculus. It wasn't no Haunting of Hill House. But, it was okay. It was a movie. It was better than, like fucking like Boogeyman and shit like that.
Look,
you know what I mean? Like,
okay. My problem,
Jeepers Creepers 3,
is that it's. I didn't even watch that.
Don't. It's bad.
That it was held in such high regard and it's critically acclaimed, and so many fucking like reviews where they're like, this is great, this is refreshing, this is amazing. I'm like, refreshing from what? What the fuck is refreshing about this movie? It's literally just any other movie, and I knew exactly how it was going to end by the time. Spoilers if you haven't seen this movie. It fucking ends with them believing that, like he killed everyone, or no, he ends up dying too. And that was the other part. Like at first I was like, okay, they're gonna think that he killed everyone because his dad killed his girlfriend on accident because she looked like Belto for some reason, and then which they never explained that part. And so the girlfriend's dead. He cries about her for like 0.2 seconds, and then the dad's like, come on, we gotta go. And he's like, all right. And then they get up and they just run off and then leave her corpse there. And then his dad dies, and then he climbs up the stairs as the cops are like trying to like get inside, or you think they are, but it's really just the ghost fucking with him. And then he gets up there and he's like, come on, let me out, open the door. And he's like, come out of there now. And then like he says something that's like, oh, obviously that's not the cop. And then he like looks over and you expect it to be Belto because they never actually show Belto's face this whole fucking time. And you're like, oh, they're finally going to show fucking Belto. And he looks over and it's his dad. And it's like his reanimated dad, but he doesn't even look scary. And just like pushes him off the staircase. And I'm like, really? That's it. That's the fucking movie. and then the cops come down. They're like, oh, what happened here? Like, this is fucking insane. And the lady's like, what should we do with the body? And it's like the girl, like, it turns out she was a witch, by the way. That's the whole point. It's like, oh, she was a witch that was buried back in the Salem witch trials. And she was actually a witch. And so like, her corpse remains intact and it gets revenge on everyone by just doing this little situation, reanimating corpses, I guess, and fucking with people. Anyways, so
you make it sound so like boring and like fucking.
It really was. They didn't give any like thought to any of it. Like the idea is
it's
awesome.
It's really not that bad. It's
the
really
idea
not.
is awesome. It was just executed terribly.
It's like an 8 out of 10. It's pretty.
Whoa,
good.
That's even giving it too much. I'd give it a 5 out of 10. Story 10 out of 10. Did they actually use that story? No, they didn't. They literally took 2 seconds to be like, oh, she's a witch.
It's pretty good. Come on, it's
dude.
not,
Rewatch this. You haven't seen it in a long time.
I need to rewatch it because I watched it when it first came out.
Yeah, and me too. Actually, I didn't realize it until like halfway through it. I was like, "Oh, I've already seen this."
You want to know a movie that got critical acclaim that sucked ass? Go watch Witch on Netflix.
Witch did suck, except for
Witch was terrible, dude.
What's his name? The goat.
The acting was good, but the fucking
what's the goat's name? It's like Black something.
Oh yeah. The goat, yeah. But I don't give a fuck, dude. That movie sucked ass, dude.
But
like,
it's made by the same person who made Hereditary.
Really?
So he needed to make that to get to... Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not.
I was about to say, he did a lot better on Hereditary.
No, for some reason, I thought it was the same. Hereditary was fucking amazing,
yeah,
dude.
Hereditary was excellent.
That's going to be a classic. Like, that's going to be one of those things that people look back on, like The Shining, I feel like.
I don't know. I feel like The Shining had a bigger presence when it was in theater. You know, this is going to be more of a cult classic.
You think so? A cult classic?
More culty than Shining. You know, like, I don't know. Everybody knows The Shining. You know, I don't think this is going to be like Eraserhead or some shit that people watch. You know, it's going to be like one of those gems that people like.
I don't know. I feel like it could be. I guess you're right. Not enough people talk about it.
It didn't get enough publicity. That's the problem. It was such a good movie. Everybody should have went and saw that.
Yeah, definitely. You should watch it now. If you haven't seen it, it's Halloween. Go fucking watch Hereditary.
Great Halloween movie.
Get on Vudu, rent it or something. You know, do it. Anyways, yeah. So you got any news about your life? We just had to give Thomas the talk of a life.
Well, let's see.
And by the way, thanks for being a patron, Thomas.
Oh yeah,
we definitely appreciate that, man.
Yeah, you're the
It's
bomb,
awesome,
Thomas.
And everyone else who's not, fuck you. No, no, we still love you too. If you could, if you're not able to support us on Patreon, if you could maybe pass around like your favorite episode, you know, like share it to your friends and let people know about us, and you know, give them some content to listen to. You know what I'm saying? Because I know you're hoarding it for yourself. You got all 85 episodes just sitting on your iPod. Wait, do people have iPods anymore?
I think so. iPhones.
That's
what it is now.
America.
Speaking of which, I got a new phone.
Oh shit, dude!
I upgraded to the plus size. You know what I'm saying?
What? So is it a 10?
No. I just went from a 6 to a 7, but you know I got a pretty good deal on it. And I got the bigger screen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. I like that. That's what I like to hear. Now we're next level.
Yeah, next level.
You got the 7 Plus. I got the 8. Dude, we could be making like indie documentaries right now with these. You go to the Sundance Film Festival with our phones. I'm serious.
I am too, dude. We need to do it.
I think we could. What kind of movie do you want to see me and Brent make? Let us know in the comments. Anyways,
let's get down to business.
Yeah, let's jump into the news. Just so you guys know, we're using articles from gaming news sites from around the web, and we do not claim any of this material as our own other than the commentary that we're giving on these articles. We're going to start it off. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is likely to be the last AAA game release of the year thanks to a December release, but there's still plenty we don't know. The full roster, the mysterious final mode, the mystery of Waluigi's absence, etc. At least some of those questions may be answered this week with a Nintendo Direct revolving around the game. It will take place Thursday, November 1st at 7 a.m. Judging by the tweet promoting the presentation, this looks to be a big one. It will be 40 minutes long and then be followed by a Nintendo Treehouse Live presentation. By comparison, the last Smash-focused Nintendo Direct was just over 25 minutes, and it revealed the Castlevania stages and characters Chrom and Dark Samus, Isabelle, and King K. Rool. The Nintendo Direct at E3 was roughly 40 minutes, and it was about a wider spate of games than just Smash. Yeah, so
interesting.
40 minutes. That's going to be a long-ass Direct.
It's a lot of smashing.
You see, I feel like now we get too much information about games before they actually come out.
I agree. They need to leave a little bit to the imagination.
Yeah, like I want the secret characters again. You know, like I miss the a new challenger approaches. I don't like knowing that it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll leave a surprise or two in there for us.
They didn't with the Wii U.
I thought they did.
Every character was announced before it came out.
Really?
Yeah, and then all the rest was like DLC.
Oh.
It's
I
like,
could have swore like Mega Man or somebody was like just in there, and it was like, oh hey, look, Mega Man.
they showed him beforehand. Like literally, they do this.
I mean, did they show him, or
Yeah,
did somebody
Nintendo
else
showed
like
him in their trailer, like on their old directs. Like I'm telling you, man, they don't do the mystery thing anymore. I don't think kids want secrets anymore. Kids just want to play the fucking game, and like they just want all the characters because they don't. I feel like not too many people do the campaign stuff anymore in games like this.
Smash Bros isn't for kids. No, I'm just kidding.
It's a game for adults, man.
It's a game for adults who were once kids who played the original Smash Bros.
Give us secrets, man. Give us secrets.
Yeah, well, at least you still have to unlock the characters, hopefully. I like it whenever you start with the small page of the characters and then it progressively gets more and more full.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I don't think that's even the case anymore. I don't think you'll have to unlock anything.
That's some whack-ass bullshit. I don't think that's true.
I'm going to check that. You go on to the next news.
All right. Let's see. After 7 years of development, Fallout New California, a free mod for PC version of Fallout New Vegas, has released. The mod is a single-player experience and acts as an unofficial bridge in the Fallout timeline. Amusingly, New California released the same day as the first Fallout 76 beta, offering a more traditional Fallout experience for those disappointed with the series' new multiplayer-focused direction. In New California, you play as an orphan who was raised in San Bernardino Mountains by survivors of Vault 18. The story picks up 20 years after Fallout 2, when people are still recovering from the aftermath of the New California Republic Enclave War. As you play, you'll take part in the plot lines that ultimately inspired the events of Fallout 3 and New Vegas. If you have the right mods installed, your story in Fallout New California can seamlessly transition into New Vegas as part of the same long save. New California's entire campaign can be beaten in 6 to 8 hours, but there's anywhere between 15 and 30 hours of content in each playthrough, depending on what you choose to do. The mod has 13 possible endings as well, which are earned depending on the choices you make. Although it's a mod of New Vegas, New California acts as its own separate game. It has its own map, which is about 2/3 the size of the one in New Vegas, and nearly 17,000 lines of spoken dialogue that are all unique to the mod. To play New California, you'll need the PC version of New Vegas. You don't need the Ultimate Edition or of the game or its DLC, but it will have to be updated with the latest patches. Make sure you have a mod manager downloaded to your PC as well. The folks behind New California recommend Nexus Vortex or Mod Organizer 2. After that, you just need to download New California from the mod's ModDB page. Open your mod manager, follow the on-screen prompts, and you're good to go.
Weird. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. They said they spent 7 years on it, so, I mean, it's probably pretty hashed out. I bet it feels a lot like one of the classic Fallout games. It's probably worth playing if you're a fan. Is this
made by Bethesda?
No. This is just a mod.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how... I just can't imagine it actually being as good as a legit, Bethesda game.
It's probably not as good,
I wonder how they got dialogue.
But it's probably okay.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
They did it themselves.
They
have a whole studio working on this.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Like,
for free?
Yeah. That's like a passion project.
Man.
I guess.
That's insane.
But it's kind of cool. And it boosts sales for Fallout New Vegas, so Bethesda or Obsidian, I guess, can't really get mad at them. You know what
definitely.
I mean?
No, that's cool. That's cool. By the way, on that Super Smash Bros., you will still have to unlock some characters, but it says, the ones that you already know about, but it says Nintendo has said that unlocking these characters will be quicker and easier than in previous games.
Oh, okay.
That's what it was.
I really like the little secrets you had to do, like stop it on 2 seconds with Mario to get Luigi or whatever, little shit like that was kind of cool.
Oh yeah, like beat the targets or whatever with like every character. Just smash the targets. But
yeah, I fucking love doing that.
anyways, No Man's Sky has launched a free update that explores a slightly different kind of black void. The Abyss is available now and adds more detail to underwater environments and some heavily reworked gameplay elements for exploring the briny depths of a planet. A post on the PlayStation blog detailed the update titled The Abyss. It introduces 5 times more variety for aquatic environments and more variety of creature behaviors. Underwater creatures appear more frequently, and more unique and scary underwater creatures have been added. You can also explore sunken wrecks to scavenge their cargo, customize a new submarine called a Nautilon, and build an underwater base of operations with more than a dozen new base parts for a more narrative experience. You can play for a more narrative experience, you can play a new story scenario called The Dreams of the Deep. In it, you'll uncover the mysteries of a stranded crew or someone lost in the depths of the ocean.
Cool.
Yeah, sounds cool. I wonder how that works.
I don't know. It's pretty interesting. I'm going to have to check it out.
Yeah.
Let's see. We've got... Okay, so the PlayStation Classic that was announced, they only announced like 5 games with it when they announced it, but now they've like unleashed the full list of the 20 games that they're going to have on it. So I thought I'd read it to you guys because it looks pretty damn good. A lot better than I thought it would. There's only like 5 of the 20 games that I'm not really interested in. But here's the list for North America. And then there's like a couple of games that are different in Japan. So I'll kind of like tell you which ones are different in case you just happen to be in Japan. So the full 20 for coming to North America are going to be Battle Arena Toshinden, which I'm not really sure what that is. Cool Borders 2, which is like one of my favorite fucking games when I was a kid. I used to just snowboard all over the place in that game. Destruction Derby. Not really sure about that. Final Fantasy VII, which is obviously one of the best games like ever.
Never heard of it.
And you got a ton of gameplay there. That's one of the good things about Final Fantasy VII. You can play for like hours and hours. You know,
This is like a 4-disc.
Yeah, it's like a long ass
game.
So for your money, you're gonna have like at least a little bit of time you can invest into this. You're gonna have the original Grand Theft Auto. You're going to have, which is pretty cool. I'm sure it'll play fine with the controller. Intelligent Cube. I'm not sure what that is. Jumping Flash. Again, not sure what that is. The original Metal Gear Solid.
Nice.
Which is awesome. Mr. Driller. I'm not really sure what that is. Oddworld. Abe's Odyssey. Which is a pretty dope game. I like the Oddworld series, especially the early ones. They were really... like pretty quality games. They kind of like petered out, I feel like, after the Xbox 360 era. Rayman, the original Rayman, which is cool. Resident Evil Director's Cut, which is the one you just played, I'm pretty sure.
No, well, I played the remasters, so this is going to be like the
this is going to be like
classic.
the OG, classic. This one's interesting. It's got the original Persona
Nice.
1. Which is fucking dope. I almost want to buy it just for that, just to see what that's all about. It's got Ridge Racer Type 4, which we used to go hard on Ridge Racer on DS back in the day,
Yeah.
It's got Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, which I have no idea. It's got Siphon Filter, which is a great game. Tekken 3, which is a great game. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, which is a great game. Twisted Metal, which is a great game, and Wild Arms, which is some kind of RPG that I'm not sure about, but I know that it's
good as well.
It's pretty good, and it's just about as long as Final Fantasy VII or Persona 1, so you got like 3 games on there that are like RPGs that have like some substance to them, a couple of good shooters, some racing games, so
some car collisions happening.
Pretty good little classic console there, I'd say, if you ask me.
It's missing Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Like I'm surprised they didn't put that on there.
I am too, a little bit.
I'm trying to think what else. There's no Spyro.
Oh yeah, that is a little surprising. Well, Spyro's about to come out. They probably don't want to take any steam away from the.
That makes sense, but I mean, but the new ones are the remasters.
The new one probably got the licensing to it too. You know what I mean? Like they probably just paid a bunch of money so they could use the rights to it. You know what I mean? Like
true.
Let me tell you the games that are going to be in the Japan one that aren't going to be in the American one. Well, first of all, the ones that are exclusive to America, like you can only get in America, are going to be Cool Borders 2, Destruction Derby, Grand Theft Auto, Oddworld, Rayman, Siphon Filter, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, and Twisted Metal, which are fucking all like dope ass games. And then the ones that are exclusive to Japan are going to be Ark the Lad 2, which I have no idea which either of those are, Armored Core, Gradius Gaiden, 11, but it's in Roman numerals, Saga Frontier, G. Darius, and Parasite Eve.
Parasite Eve is dope. I'm surprised we didn't get that.
Yeah, me too.
That's really strange. But I guess the rest of those are like JRPG type games.
Frankly, I'd rather have Rainbow Six and Twisted Metal and shit like that, so I'm okay with that.
Surprised we didn't get Silent Hill or something. Was Silent Hill on the original PlayStation?
I think so.
Or was it PS2?
I think Silent Hill was like late in the PS1 life cycle, or maybe it was early PS2.
I can't remember now.
I'm not sure. I know it wasn't long after Resident Evil, It really wasn't. Because it was like made almost directly to compete with Resident Evil. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that I'm gonna check real quick just because I feel like we need to know that. Why do we not know that? Okay, yeah, it did originally come out on PlayStation.
Okay, yeah,
got that 5 out of 5 on Lukey Games.
Hey, Lukey.
Anyway, so let's move on. Director Andy Muschietti scored one of the biggest horror hits of all time with his adaptation of Stephen King's classic novel It, and expectations are high for the sequel, which is due for release next year. It has now been reported that Muschietti has lined up his next movie after It, Chapter 2, in adaptation of the classic manga Attack on Titan. Ooh. According to Variety, Muschietti will helm a live-action Attack on Titan movie for Warner. The site states that the studio recently signed a deal with Kodansha, the Japanese publisher of the property, to make a Hollywood version. Muschietti's sister Barbara Muschietti, who produced both It movies and his 2013 horror hit Mama, will co-produce. That is awesome.
Yeah, I have a lot of high hopes there, but at the same time,
it was amazing.
I got so psyched about Death Note, like
that
the director sucked ass. So.
Yeah, come on.
But I'm just saying, I don't want to get my hopes up again and just have them dashed across a rock.
But we're talking high caliber here. Like we're talking Warner Bros.
It was
this
really
isn't
good.
Just a Netflix.
It was really good.
Yeah, it as
Mama
in the
wasn't
movie.
that great.
Mama sucked ass, but something about it, man.
He did a great job with it.
She wasn't behind it. I don't.
Bill
think.
Skarsgård had a lot to do with how good it was. You know what I mean? Like
that's true.
Him as Pennywise was
he could definitely play like a anime character live action.
Oh shit!
He looks like an anime character in real life.
As a matter of fact, I can actually see him playing that guy in Attack on Titan that's like really monotone all the time and like kind of has like the dead eyes. In season 3, they like fuck with his dad the whole time, or not his dad, but like the guy who raised him, Keith.
Yeah. I could see that.
What's his name? I can't remember. Anyways. But yeah, I could definitely... I hope it's good.
I'm going to go ahead and get my hopes up so high that when it's not amazing, I'm going to just hate it. So, I like to do that.
Japanese... They did a live action in Japanese already.
Yeah,
and it's not terrible. It's better than a lot of the other live action Japanese movies. Have you seen some of the, like... live action adaptations of fucking movies.
Like Death Note?
Well, no. Well, yes, but I mean like the Japanese version of Death Note.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, like that shit was terrible. Fucking the live action in America was terrible. The fucking live action for Parasite was pretty bad. The live action
I saw a trailer for that, actually, for the live action version of that movie. And I was like, what the actual fuck is this?
Dude, the anime is like so good for Parasite.
I don't know. Just that live action kind of threw me off.
It's weird as hell, but it's really fucking good.
I might watch it. I think I tried starting like the first episode and I was like, I don't know.
Dude, it's excellent. That's one of the better animes I've ever watched.
Wait, you take us to the next dude.
Okay, on to the next. Don't forget, guys, this isn't really news, but just like a little public service announcement for you guys that forgot that cheat codes still exist sometimes. If you're out there playing Red Dead Redemption 2 and you want to spice it up, dude, look up some cheat codes, because there's cheat codes for this game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, there are.
So yeah, that's my public service announcement.
Okay. And speaking on Red Dead Redemption 2 hit a PR snag when just weeks before release, co-founder Dan Houser made comments that seemed to suggest the studio had undergone periods of heavy crunch development. Now it seems someone at the company may have been trying to make some clever commentary on it within the game itself. As spotted by a Reddit user, an in-game advertisement for the Cattleman revolver contains some verbiage that could easily apply to development culture. Quote, "It is made by skilled laborers who work tireless hours each week and on weekends for little pay in order to bring you the finest revolver on the field today." To top it off, the gun is said to be manufactured in Worcester, Massachusetts, a town just outside Boston and relatively close to Rockstar, New England. Yeah, so that's them being like...
I think they're just drawing conclusions here.
Yeah, that could be jumping to conclusions.
They say a lot of things, man, in that fucking game. Like,
yeah, there's just like a little little flyer for it. And like, I think people are just looking for like anything, like fucking sharks with a fucking drop of blood in the ocean. You know, they can smell it a mile away.
Yeah, I definitely feel that.
Can you imagine if you could smell things a mile away? Like,
that would make life really hard.
It would, I mean,
you'd be like trying to go to sleep and your neighbor would fart.
I think we would have evolved differently to where like when people farted, they farted into like these smell canceling suits or something. All of our clothes would be made out of... You think
we would focus a lot more on smell canceling technology if we all could smell a mile away?
Yeah, definitely. You know, and like...
I think the whole way we solve crimes and shit would be different. Like, detectives would show up at the scene and be like, "All right, where's the nose going today, boys?"
He was wearing cabbage.
Is it my turn? Right?
Yeah, take us away, dude.
Okay, with all the big games launching between now and the end of the year,
so many,
it can be easy to forget about all the games that came out in the past year. Sony apparently hopes you won't forget some of the recent PS4 exclusives.
Too late.
The company has dropped the suggested retail price for 4 of its big games: God of War, Detroit Become Human, Uncharted Lost Legacy, and the PS4 remaster of Shadow of the Colossus. 2 of this year's biggest PS4 exclusives, God of War and Detroit Become Human, both got $20 price drops, bringing them down to $40 a piece. Uncharted The Lost Legacy and Shadow of the Colossus are now available for $20 each going forward.
Nice.
So that's pretty cool. Like I said, God of War, one of the best games freaking like ever made. So,
damn,
definitely worth checking out.
Hot take, dude.
Hot take.
Microsoft has plans to expand the Game Pass subscription service from Xbox One to PC. CEO Satya Nadella reportedly mentioned during an earnings call that bringing Game Pass to PC will help increase the strength of the Xbox brand. Ars Technica reports that Nadella didn't give any indication of when to expect the subscription to expand or if it would be included within the same all-you-can-eat price as the Xbox version. It would make some sense for the service to be all-encompassing given that its current, quote, Play Anywhere initiative has made PC and Xbox versions of games available across both platforms, regardless of where you bought it. On the Xbox One, though, Game Pass has an isolated marketplace for such a service, competing only somewhat with the more niche EA Access. A PC subscription service would face competition from other similar monthly services at various price tiers. An Xbox One Game Pass subscription currently costs $10 a month. Expanding that pass to include PC games could come through an optional extra fee without paying for an entirely separate subscription. So that's coolio.
That is coolio.
Yeah, just like coolio. You got this.
Okay, let's see. Any game as big as Red Dead Redemption 2 is probably going to be a system seller. And if you've read or watched this is from IGN, their Red Dead Redemption 2 review, you know why. There is a nice new deal for the Xbox One family of systems to consider if you're thinking about picking up Rockstar's open world Western. If you're in the market for an Xbox One S or Xbox One X, you can save $100 on one if you buy Red Dead Redemption 2 from GameStop between now and November 3rd. And I've seen people online that have been getting their Xbox One X that comes bundled with Fallout 76, and then they're getting their $100 off with the, with the Red Dead Redemption 2. So they're effectively getting really good deal.
Nice.
And 2 really good games right off the jump.
Yeah.
Well, 1 really good game. I don't know about.
Or you could buy
yet.
a PS4 for $200 and then just buy the fucking.
No, you could, but honestly, I don't know. Up until this point, it's I don't know. I'll talk about it more later, but you might want the One X if you're gonna play Red Dead Redemption.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. So, Capcom has announced Resident Evil 0, and Resident Evil 4 are getting Nintendo Switch ports. All 3 ports are currently scheduled for 2019, but a specific release date hasn't been revealed yet. Capcom tweeted that more info is coming soon.
I thought we talked about that last week.
We did not. I don't think. I thought I checked to make sure, but even if we did, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, me too. It's definitely worth talking about again.
Well,
I love the Resident Evil series, and the original Resident Evil and Resident Evil 0 are both really fun, and I can see them being fun on Switch.
Yeah, we'll talk about that soon.
4 would be nice on Switch too.
4 would be amazing on Switch. Any of it would be amazing on Switch.
Yeah, true that.
Anyways, what you got? What you got?
Oh, let's see. Bethesda has been one of the highest profile major publishers throwing its weight behind the Nintendo Switch, but this won't extend to Fallout 76. During a panel at PAX Australia today, Bethesda marketing executive Pete Hines stated that Fallout 76 on Nintendo's console wasn't doable. That being said, Hines said every Bethesda studio considers the Nintendo Switch for its new products. Whether or not it works out depends on a number of factors. Hines said that Bethesda's management allows the individual teams to decide what's best for their games. Management at Bethesda never gives studios mandates, and this includes the platforms it chooses to support. So basically, they're going to keep on supporting it with the Switch.
They just can't put 76 on there. Yeah, it's just not possible.
Not possible. But they said the new Wolfenstein game is going to be on there and stuff too. So
good.
Sorry if I'm having a little trouble skipping over my words and stuff. I've got this new phone and I'm not used to it. You know what I mean? It's
not used to clear vision.
I'm not used to Reading at this size and stuff. You know
I gotcha.
What I mean?
Yeah, since we're on Fallout 76, the beta starts on PC tonight as I'm reading this, so the day before you guys hear this. But an 11th hour bug in Bethesda's launcher has had unusually severe repercussions for some affected users. Turns out the issue wasn't your average freeze. It was a bug where clicking any button on the launch client would delete the entire beta and force users to download the just under 50 gigabyte download all over again.
Oh, RIP data plans.
Yeah, Bethesda went on Twitter and was they were like, please don't click anything. And to those
just don't do anything, anyone.
Yeah, basically, if you didn't see that before you clicked something, you had to re-download the entire beta.
Fuck, that would suck if you had shitty internet like me.
Oh, dude, you just wouldn't get to do it. You just wouldn't get to fucking by the time the beta was over.
Is it another one of those little 4-hour betas, or?
I don't know how long it is. I just imagine it's a beta. It can't be too long, But people were pissed.
The fucking game's coming out soon. My thing is, I don't want to get cut off. I don't care. I know once I get into Fallout 76, I'm gonna be sucked into it. So I don't want to just be oh, time's up, beta's over. I'm gonna be
that too.
That shit will. Ooh.
That's my thing. Everyone's uh-oh. They're like Bethesda finally created the bug that because their games are so glitchy or whatever. They're like, oh, they finally glitched so hard it just fucking undid the game. But my thing is that's the point of a beta. You know, like, imagine if this would have been like the day one drop or something, like after people had already like purchased it and this is the game. Like, that would have been fucking bad. So
That would have been bad.
this is what betas are for, people. Anyways, let's see here. Oh wait, no, it's you
Yeah, it's
actually.
me, I think.
Yeah.
Here's another good deal for you guys out there that are snagging up all these good deals. If you're looking to expand your Xbox One game collection to include a pair of major recent releases, the eBay seller Ant Online, which is a legitimate outfit that often has good deals, is selling brand new copies of Red Dead Redemption 2 and Shadow of Tomb Raider as a pair for $70. That's a fantastic deal considering buying both games separately would normally cost $120. So if you've had your eye on these titles, you might as well get them now and save $50. The stock is limited, so you'll want to hurry.
Okay. Yeah, do that.
That's a good deal, though.
And then, so the dinosaur survival game Ark Survival Evolved is launching for Nintendo Switch on November 30th. Developer Studio Wildcard has confirmed. The Switch edition was worked on by Abstraction Games in Netherlands. That studio also co-developed some of the game's other console editions. In a press release, main developer Studio Wildcard said the Nintendo Switch version of Ark Survival Evolved contains all the content and features of the original award-winning game. Specifically, this includes the entire island featuring more than 100 combined dinosaurs and other creatures, which is pretty cool to think about for a Switch game.
Yeah, totally.
Very cool. Anyways, what you got? What you get?
Let's see. Fortnite developer Epic Games announced today that it has secured $1.25 billion in funding from a number of venture capital companies. Not only that, but with a new round of funding, WSJ reports that Epic Games, which is based in Cary, North Carolina, is now valued at a massive $15 billion.
Damn.
The new round of funding at Epic came from 7 different companies: KKR, Icon IQ, Capital, Smash Ventures, AXIOMATIC.
What?
I don't really know. It's like AXIOM, Axiomatic. That's what it is. There you go.
Okay.
Vulcan Capital, Kleiner Perkins, and Lightspeed Venture Partners. According to Epic, this investment creates powerful partnerships with highly strategic investment firms and individuals at the forefront of technology, entertainment, professional sports, esports, and live events.
Esports.
The 7 new companies joined Tencent, Disney, and Endeavor, all of which previously invested in Epic Games at various funding levels. Tencent paid a reported $330 million for 48% controlling interest in Epic Games back in 2013, which I'm sure they're looking back like, we got a good deal. Even with all the new investment, Epic has retained ownership of itself and continues to be controlled by founder and CEO Tim Sweeney.
Nice.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Is the new Gears of War game going to be made by Epic?
Something tells me it's probably not.
I'm going to look that up while you read the next piece of news, because I know they made the original Gears of War games. And
yeah, back whenever old Cliffy B was a part of the team. Anyway, so Drake, yes, music superstar Drake has purchased an ownership stake in the esports organization 100 Thieves. On Tuesday, 100T founder Matthew Nadeshot Hag announced Drake and record producer Scooter Braun, best known for his work with Justin Bieber and Ariana Grande, were joining the ownership group, which also features Cleveland Cavaliers owner Dan Gilbert. So he recounted the deal-making process in a piece for the Players Tribune. Scooter had connected our team with Drake a few months ago. After some emails, a lot of emails, Drake invited us to his home in Hidden Hills, California, not all that far from where I won that $100,000. We met Drake, and it was a really, really great experience. He believed in our project and our team, and that meant so much to me. Man, it's crazy. I grew up listening to Drake, blasting Think Me Later on my laptop speakers so I could hear it over my headphones while I was gaming. And now Drake is a part of 100 Thieves. How about that? So, yeah, Drake bought an entire, basically bought or co-owns an esports team. I guess now.
That's so random and cool.
Well, after I guess like after he did that shit with Ninja, he was
Yeah.
like, I see where this is going. He's trying. You can see that he's kind of like, all right, I know eventually I'm gonna come up on my time where like I'm too old to be making music. Like the kids aren't gonna care anymore.
Yeah, he's looking for places to invest his money.
Exactly. He's pulling a Kanye with the
Yeah,
the,
Totally.
yeah. I just see it. I see it.
So Gears of War 5 is not going to be developed by Epic. It's going to be developed by the Coalition.
The Coalition. Cool.
Cool. Hang on, let's see. Let's see what else we got in the news.
It's the Halloween spooky news.
Niantic continues rolling out new features for Pokemon Go. On top of trading and friends lists, which both were introduced to the mobile game earlier this year, the developer recently announced it's working on a Pokestop nomination system. Now, it has revealed another new feature on the way to the game, Adventure Sync. With Adventure Sync, you'll be able to keep track of your walk distance even when Pokemon Go is idle. This should prove to be a handy addition, particularly for hatching eggs. Previously, Pokemon Go only tracked your walking distance while the game was launched. So if you're trying to hatch a Pokemon, you need to leave it running as you walked. But now, you don't.
Really? That fucking changes the whole game.
I know, right?
That changes the fucking game, dude. That is awesome.
Yeah, so you can be hatching like a mofo now.
Really? That's so cool. Anyway, so the head of ID Software, one of the pioneers of multiplayer games with Quake, has spoken out in response to the craze surrounding the Battle Royale genre. Tim Willits, who heads up ID Software, told GameSpot during an interview at PAX Aus that Battle Royale games like Fortnite and PUBG are capitalizing on an idea that is not exactly new. He reminded us that one of the original Quake mods made by the community was for a last player standing mode, though it only supported 4 players compared to 100 in contemporary Battle Royale modes. Quote, people need to realize it's been done before, through modes like King of the Hill and others. It's a new take done well on an idea that people already like, Willits explained. You say that every great video game idea can be found in a 10-year-old's toy box. That continues with games like Battle Royale. It's not really that new. It's just a new take on something people already like. It's like dodgeball. There's only one person left. That's Battle Royale. So the best games in the future will continue to be new takes on ideas that people already like.
But see, the thing about Battle Royale as it stands that makes it so good is that there's like 100 people.
I think that's what he said. I think he was like...
I get what he's saying. You know, like there's been Last Man Standing games before
this. No, I don't think he was saying it in that it's dumb because it's been done before. I think he was saying like, from a design standpoint, he was like, he's like, think about it like this. It's been done before. He's like, so... if you're trying to come up with a game idea or like you want to see what happens or you want to guess like what the future of gaming is going to be, you can just look in a 10-year-old's toy box and it's going to be something like that they're going to reiterate into some. That's why he said it's a really good take on that idea. You know,
okay, I can see that.
I don't think he was saying it as in like we did it first. I think he was like, it's funny that this happened. You know, he's like the fact that the first mod we had was basically this game just on a smaller scale, and then somebody thought, hey, let's make it good. You know, let's make it big.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the thought was there before that. It's just like technology is there now, you know, like I bet they wanted to do like 100-player death matches on like original Xboxes and shit, you know, but they just couldn't, you know what I mean?
What about that one game on the PS3? It was like, what is it called, Mag or something? It's like,
man, I don't know.
I wish I remembered what that was called. Anyways, go
I know
ahead.
they had some MMOs and stuff on the PS3 and stuff.
No, on the PS3 there was like this online game. It was like it was more than, or it was like 100 people online, and it was like, but it was more like Planet Side.
I was about to say Planet Side is kind of like that. There's like 1,000 fucking people on Planet. It's crazy. There's a shitload of people on Planet Side.
It really is fucking crazy.
It's kind of a mess though, like to play.
Yeah.
Let's see. Man, I lost my spot. Oh, here we go. One of the most famous video game dogs, Dogmeat, from the Fallout franchise, apparently won't be in the new Fallout 76 due out next month. During a panel at PAX Australia today in Melbourne, Bethesda marketing boss, I almost said marketing moss, Pete Hines, confirmed that you cannot acquire any dog companion in Fallout 76. The audience booed loudly, seeing the room turn against him. Hines then clarified that if players really want to have a dog in Fallout 76, developer Bethesda Game Studios will add it to the list of features it might consider for the game after
for microtransactions.
Right.
You can always purchase.
The audience cheered loudly to this. However, it remains to be seen if Bethesda would add dog meat or a different dog to Fallout 76.
Cool. I'm done with these.
You're
keep
done?
Going, yeah.
Let's see. Okay, there's a few new games getting thrown on the backwards compatible upgraded with Xbox One X. So like games that are older games, but they like are given run at a higher resolution and 9 times the original pixel count on an Xbox One X.
Damn.
So we've got Portal still alive, Half-Life 2, The Orange Box, Left 4 Dead, and Left 4 Dead 2. But the Orange Box, has quite a few games in it too. So, there's a few upgraded games. I think it'd be cool to play Left 4 Dead with higher resolution and shit.
Yeah, because it already looked good.
Yeah, definitely for its time. And Half-Life 2, that would be nice to have an Xbox One X enhanced version of,
Maybe it'll garner some attention towards Left 4 Dead again, and then they can give us another one. Why don't we have another one? It kind of makes me
think that they're going to do something like that soon, because
they're not even like...
Why would Valve do all these different...
Because remember they said they were getting back into putting certain games out for a little bit.
I know that they're going to announce some new games pretty soon, I think. Valve is. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I got a feeling one of them's going to be like Half-Life or Left 4 Dead, or both. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it better be.
Anyways,
people are fucking waiting.
So that's all I got for the news.
Sweet. So we're going to jump on over into this week's releases, where I'm going to let you know what new games you guys can grab in the next 7 days. We're going to start it off with The Quiet Man, coming to PS4 and PC on November 1st for $14.99. The Quiet Man delivers an immersive story-driven cinematic action experience, seamlessly blending high production, live action, realistic CG, and pulse-pounding action gameplay. Unraveling within a single night, players take the role of deaf protagonist Dane as he fights his way through a soundless world to discover the motive behind the kidnapping of a songstress from a mysterious masked man. Okay, and then we got...
I heard that game is, you play through the whole... I know in the description it says he's deaf, but, I'm pretty sure the whole game you don't hear anything. It's like a silent game.
Yeah, I just said it was a soundless...
game. What I was getting at is that I think once you beat it, and I don't know why this is even a thing, but once you beat it, you can play through the game again, but actually hear everything if you want.
See, the fact that they do that is kind of weird, because you would think that the whole sound design idea was a good way to save money on, getting all of that shit set up and, getting voice actors and whatnot, but now they just doubled their shit, or maybe they just did it all and then just muted the fucking...
I think that's what they did,
but it's funny.
Because I don't think it's completely silent. I think you still hear
oh my god, that would get annoying as fuck. Everything just sounds like an orca. Yeah, but so then we got no offense to deaf people if you're listening to us.
Well, yeah. Listening to us. You're an asshole. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we just start getting fucking boycotted. Taiko no Tatsujin Drum and Fun. It's coming to Switch on November 2nd for $49.99. Become a Taiko drum master on your Nintendo Switch with Taiko no Tatsujin Drum and Fun. Play to the beat using your own drum with a wide variety of new songs, and challenge your friends to prove who has the best taiko skills. Using the Joy-Con controllers as drumsticks, Taiko no Tatsujin Drum and Fun introduces motion control play that replicates the popular arcade-style experience. And then we got Taiko no Tatsujin Drum Session coming to PS4 on November 2nd for $49.99. And it's basically the same thing. And then we got Football Manager 2019 coming to PC on November 2nd for $59.99. Football Manager 2019 is more comprehensive in its realism than ever before, with loads of new and improved features, redesigned logos, and the implementation of the DFL Bundesliga license for the first time.
I'm surprised Football Manager 2018 did well enough to warrant a fucking sequel. Like, what the fuck?
I don't think that was the first one. I feel like Football Manager's been out for a bit.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's been happening, dude.
That's fucking stupid.
It is. And it's every year.
Why would you want to be the manager?
Look, man, some people would go and
And
literally.
if you're gonna do a game like that, why not just do like sports manager, and then you like have it to where you can like start your career as a manager and like pick what sport you want to manage and shit.
Probably because it wouldn't be as detailed in each sport if you did it that way. Because they got to put a lot.
How
of...
much detail can you put into it?
I don't even want to ask that question. This might be a full simulator. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking it is.
I guess so. I don't know.
There's people that go to college just to be like, a sports team manager, so like to some people, this is like sex and drugs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess so.
And
it's strange to me.
It is foreign. No, World of Final Fantasy Maxima is coming to Switch, PS4, and Xbox One on November 6th for $39.99. In the enchanting RPG world of Final Fantasy, players follow the journey of siblings, Rin and Lan, as they enter the world of Grimoire and encounter a multitude of familiar Final Fantasy characters and monsters. World of Final Fantasy combines classic RPG gameplay mechanics with fresh and imaginative toy-like visuals. Capture and raise familiar Final Fantasy beasts, such as Cactuar, Chocobo, and Behemoth, to discover alternate forms and learn new abilities. With an inviting approach to gameplay, this game can be enjoyed by both fans and newcomers to the series. And then we got The Forest, coming to PC and PS4 on November 6th for $14.99. As the lone survivor of a passenger jet crash, you find yourself in a mysterious forest battling to stay alive against a society of cannibalistic mutants. Build, explore, survive in this terrifying first-person survival horror simulator.
Do you remember when we played the beta for that a long time ago with Aaron?
No, I don't. I don't think I was there.
It's a lot like Ark or any of those other survival games. Like you're chopping down trees and building forts,
but there's zombies.
There's zombies. It's really pretty looking. It's nice that it's coming to consoles. That's one of those that I thought would just stay on PC forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it came out a long-ass time ago.
Yeah, it's an old game.
Then we got Jagged Alliance Rage coming to PC, PS4, Xbox One, November 6th for $29.99. Jagged Alliance is back. The mercenary tactic game Jagged Alliance Rage offers a new take on turn-based tactics, adventure elements, and the well-known quirky mercenaries. Set 20 years after the first Jagged Alliance, this spin-off lets you experience a road trip in a jungle hell to test your mind and body to the limits. This time, it's just you and a few allies versus an entire island ruled by a drug overlord and his crazed army. And then we got Grip Combat Racing coming to Switch, Xbox One, PS4, and PC on November 6th for $29.99. Inspired by the unbounded roll cage racing games, Grip Combat Racing marks a return to the hardcore combat racer, bristling with heavy weapons and packing ferocious speed. This is an intense sensory driving challenge. Hit speeds of up to 700 kilometers per hour while driving on floors, walls, and ceilings. Anything you can get your tires on to keep the hammer down. With the specialized all-terrain design of Grip vehicles, flipping the car over no longer means game over. From hostile, icy worlds to outlandish, non-terrestrial cities, Grip's locations provide racing experiences different from anything you've raced through before.
I like it.
Sounds fun. Then we got Brawlhalla coming to Xbox One and Switch on November 6th. And I believe that game's free unless you want
it's already out on PS4.
Yeah, it is.
It's like almost like Smash Bros. Kind of.
But 2D.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it's a poor man's Smash Bros. For sure.
Very
and we got
man's Smash Bros.
Alchemist's Castle, coming to PC on November 7th for 99 cents. Discovering the Philosopher's Stone turned the wise and kind alchemist into a power-hungry, selfish tyrant. The task of stopping him falls upon you, the former apprentice of the alchemist. And then we got Ark Extinction coming to Xbox One, PS4, PC, and Switch November 6th for $19.99. Finish your journey through the worlds of Ark in Extinction, where the stories begin and ends on Earth itself, an element-infested, ravaged planet filled with fantastical creatures, both organic and technological. Earth holds both the secrets of the past and the keys to its salvation. As a veteran survivor who has conquered all previous obstacles, your ultimate challenge awaits. Can you defeat the gigantic roaming titans which dominate the planet and complete the Ark cycle to save Earth's future?
Is that related to, like, Ark Survival Evolved? Or?
Yeah, it's an expansion.
Oh, okay.
Then we got
Neat.
Blackbird coming to Switch, PC, and Mac October 31st for $19.99. This is a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up created by Japanese game designer Yoshiro Kimura in the spirit of classics like Gradius, but anchored by a story that's meant to make players feel conflicted. The game opens with a girl dying on the ground in a town. No one helped her, so she becomes a vengeful bird and proceeds to kill absolutely everyone. And then we have Night Trap 25th Anniversary Edition coming to Xbox One, PS4, Switch, Vita, and PC on November 2nd for $14.99. Night Trap 25th Anniversary Edition brings back the controversial classic horror action FMV adventure starring Dana Plato. The game has you observing a pajama sleepover of 5 comely teenage girls. Is that a real word? Mm-hmm. That sounds very sexual, but gone horribly wrong. Monsters have invaded the Martin house, and as a member of the Special Control Attack Team, or SCAT, your job is to monitor the home and protect the girls using an intricate system of cameras and traps as it is being invaded by these vampires. Unless you set off traps to capture the stalking creatures, they will snatch up their prey for unspeakable acts of terror. The fact this is an FMV, like live action, like one of those. This was a game from like back in the 90s. And it was like one of those PC games where it's like live action characters.
So it's kind of like Five Nights at Freddy's or something like that?
Yeah, but you're watching 5 teenage girls like in a house, like having a sleepover. Anyways, so Carnival Games Switch is coming November 6th for $39.99. Come one, come all. Whether you're at home or on the go, Carnival Games brings 20 exciting family-friendly games to the Nintendo Switch that you'll never fucking play. And then we got Moonlighter coming to Switch on November 6th for $24.99. Moonlighter is an action RPG that follows an adventurous shopkeeper that secretly dreams of becoming a hero. During an archaeological excavation, a set of gates were discovered. People quickly realized that these ancient passages lead to different realms and dimensions.
Stargate.
Rhinoka, a small commercial village, was found near the excavation site, providing brave and reckless adventurers with treasures beyond measure. And then we got Swords and Soldiers 2, Swarmageddon, coming to Switch, PS4, PC, November 6th for $19.99. Vikings face off against Persian and demon armies in ferocious battles across the globe in Swords and Soldiers 2 Swarmageddon, a strategic multiplayer lane defense game. This is Mark Wahlberg. No, but that's about it for that one. Then we got Daracine.
Oh, yay. I've been waiting on this one.
Yeah, this is coming to PSVR on November 6th for $29.99. As an unseen fairy.
What's interesting about this, sorry, before you get into that, this game is actually made by From Software, which is interesting because it has nothing to do with any of their other titles like Bloodborne or Dark Souls. It's not even like a hard game like that. It's just interesting to see them do a little departure and so far off the beaten path, like a calm game in VR, like a puzzler. Anyways, sorry.
That is weird. You would think that they would try and make a Demon's Souls type game but I think that'd be a better idea.
I don't know. This one looks really good to me. Like, the graphics look really pretty. It's mysterious. I don't know. I think it's got a lot of potential.
As an unseen fairy summoned by a young girl in a secluded boarding school, you must prove its existence and build a unique bond with the students through the clever interactions. As the mystery of the story unfolds, the spirit must use its ability to manipulate the forces of life and time to change the fate of the pupils. Move around in frozen time, collecting various bits of information that serve to unfold an overarching mystery. Daracine is the VR debut from director Hidetaka Miyazaki, and From Software. The story is a new take on classic adventure games and utilizes PSVR's technology to take gamers on an entirely unique and personal experience.
Yay.
Yeah.
I can't wait to try it.
Well, that's it for this week's releases, guys.
I'm glad we got at least one that I'm excited about coming out this week.
Yeah, I mean, Red Dead's out, all that shit.
Yeah,
so.
it wouldn't be smart to put out a game right now, you know?
So we're going to jump on over to games with gold that are coming for the day after this comes out, which is going to be beginning in November. So we're going to see for the Xbox One, we're getting Battlefield 1. From November 1st through the 31st.
I just bought that on Xbox One.
Damn, that sucks.
I just bought it. It was only like $5 though, so you know.
Could have saved $5.
I know.
And then Race the Sun is coming from November 16th through December 15th. Victor Vran is coming from October 16th. Oh, wait. You can still get Victor Vran until November 15th. And then for the Xbox 360, we're getting Assassin's Creed, like the original game, from November 1st through the 15th, and then Dante's Inferno from November 16th through the 30th.
Cool.
Good games.
Yes, indeed. Hang on, let's see. I think I got the PlayStation ones pulled up here. Let's see what we got here.
Free games. We need like a little theme song for each of our segments. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
That way we can make the editing like 7 hours. And it's just like, oh God, that would be terrible. Never mind. You guys don't get theme songs.
Okay, I don't have like the official, but this is the leak. I got the leak right here.
Let's leak it.
So we're gonna get Yakuza Kiwami, which is one of the Yakuza games, and they're all pretty well received. So it's an HD remake of a PS2 game from 2005. And then we're getting another re-release, Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition, which
sounds whack.
It's not a bad game. It came out on 360, and for some reason it's gotten like 1 billion re-releases, but like it's a decent game. I mean, it's just like a first-person shooter. Like the main thing that was cool about it was like you could like kick stuff.
Yeah, I remember.
So you'd like kick people over the ledge or kick the door in. I don't know. It was cool. But it was
such a random mechanic to like garner so many remakes.
Right? That's what I'm saying. But yeah, and then the PS3 and Vita games we won't know about until
probably next
Halloween,
week.
probably, yeah.
All right. So now we're gonna jump into currently playing. How do you want to do this? I know you're probably gonna want to talk for a bit about R2.
Yeah.
And
here, go ahead and start it off.
Yeah,
I'll just come in, sweep up the sweeping.
Okay, all right. Janitor Brent over here.
Yeah.
Now, but like, so I got a little bit to talk about. I finished. I made it a point to finish Resident Evil the remaster.
Wow, you beat the whole game?
Beat the whole game.
Nice.
Fucking phenomenal game.
Good game.
Like it had me like just drawn in the entire time. And this is a game that came out in like 1996 or something.
Old game.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously it's been updated. Like the graphics are a lot better and stuff. But I mean, it's still the same.
I mean,
like
not
cut
a
scenes
lot
and stuff.
better. Like even the remastered edition looks pretty like.
You can still see it's aged, but it looks a million times better than the original game. Like I looked at them side by side, and like there's a huge difference, but the controls still work basically the same. And like honestly, I really like it. I like the way that it's set up. I like the story. Like I said last time, I read the novelization of the first game. I just finished that too. I beat the game. I'm just really fucking loving Resident Evil right now. Like everything about it.
Hell yeah.
But basically, I got the good ending. So spoilers for this like fucking 20-year-old game. But or like the good ending is whenever you survive, as well as Rebecca and Jill. Like I played as Chris and I saved Rebecca and Jill at the end. Everybody lived.
Yeah.
But anyways, so played the shit out of that, and then I just got done, or I deleted it off so I could download or make some space for Resident Evil 0 remaster.
Oh, good. You're going to have a blast with that.
Yeah, and I just turned it on just to kind of get a feel for it, because I just finished Resident Evil yesterday. But anyway, so Yeah, this is already the graphics look even better, obviously because it's a newer game. I think it came out on GameCube originally,
so,
right?
Yeah.
But it looks good,
it's still
feels
a little
good.
dated, but it's, if you can handle the original Resident Evil, you can definitely handle Zero. Zero's puzzles can get a little difficult at times.
Dude, the first one was fucking difficult. Like there were points I literally at the end I'm not gonna lie, I had to bust out a walkthrough at some parts because it literally made no fucking sense. Like, or at least it didn't allude to anything, you know? Like there were some like puzzles that like if I wouldn't have looked at the walkthrough, I would have never figured it out. Like I would have just been stuck there.
Dude, same.
Like this game.
Same with the new Resident Evil 2. Fucking Resident Evil 7. There's this DLC mission where, like, you're strapped to a bed. It's really cool in VR, but you're, like, strapped to a bed. And, like, the lady keeps coming in and she's trying to feed you gross shit. And, like, fucking every time she leaves the room, you gotta, like, get out of the bed and, like, go around the room and get, like, shit trying to, like, break out of the room. But, like, if you make noise or something, she'll hear you and she'll come back in. You got to, like, strap yourself back into the bed before she can get back in the room. I don't know. It's really intense and fucking...
That sounds crazy.
But, like, to beat that one, it's so hard. You got to, like... One of the main key items you need is, like, the spoon that's, like, hidden behind a dresser. And it's, like, so hard to fucking find. Like, you would never find it if you, like...
You wouldn't think to look there.
Like, if I wouldn't have been in VR, like leaning over the fucking counter, I wouldn't have seen it. You know what I mean? Like, fucking, it's bullshit. Like,
damn. But yeah, so that's what I've been playing. I wanted to finish that, and I did. Then I'll have more on Resident Evil 0 next time.
Cool.
So, what you got? What you been playing, man?
Well, let's see. I'll start off with I've been waiting all week for Red Dead to come out, like most of America. You know what I mean? But in the few days I had before it came out, I was bored as fuck. So I was like, I'm gonna go on Game Pass to try some of these new games they added. So the first one I wanted to try was Hello Neighbor, because, I've heard things about it. Like,
I've heard it's a game. I heard it was whack, actually.
I heard it was good, and I tried it, and it wasn't good.
Yeah.
It's really bad. It's really fucking bad. It's like one of the worst games I've ever played in my whole fucking life.
For some reason, it gives me the vibes of Sneak King. Sneak
King, yeah. It's about the quality of Sneak King. Actually, Sneak King might be better. But fuck that game. So I went on and I was like, okay, I'm going to play Observer. You know what I mean? I was like, that seems like a better game, And
it's even worse.
It's pretty bad, dude. It's pretty bad. The frame rate has some serious issues. Like, you turn your fucking head and, like, it's just choppy, dude. Like, it's fucking stupid. It doesn't make any sense. It's like, why is it so bad? You know what I mean?
Why is it so bad?
It's like, I don't know.
And this is on Game Pass, Observer? Or is this on
Observer's on Game Pass. Like, and it's fucked up because it was like the first 15 seconds of the game. Like, the game boots up and, like, I turned my head and I almost threw up. Like, it's like that game we played a long time ago. I don't even remember.
Wait, how are you playing? Not in VR, right?
No, this is a Game Pass. Like, that's what I'm saying.
What do you mean you turn your head and almost threw up?
I mean, in the virtual world, I turned the stick and my head turned, and it made me, like, nauseous because I was looking at the screen. And it was
really? You get nauseous from flat screen games?
I mean, not actually. Like, I didn't really go throw up.
No. I thought you were serious because, like, I'm so used to you talking about, like, VR games that, like, now that I'm hearing you talk about that, I just automatically assume you're playing a VR game.
I'm just exaggerating for dramatic effect, but it's really bad. So don't play it. I mean, I don't recommend it anyways. I really liked Layers of Fear too, so I thought I was gonna like this one, but
I did not like Layers of Fear.
If you didn't like Layers of Fear, you're gonna hate Observer.
You're gonna fucking hate this game.
And then let's see, I got my new phone, and so I've been playing a little Fortnite on my phone. Not gonna lie.
Love it.
It's fun. It's surprisingly, it runs really well on my phone.
Yeah.
So that's cool. But then Red Dead came out, and it's fucking awful. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, damn.
No, it's great.
Is it as good as you wanted it to be?
Yeah, it really
that
is.
good?
You know, the thing about Red Dead is, like, it's the perfect game for me. And it's not the perfect game for everybody, I'm sure, but it's the perfect game for me because my favorite thing to do in games like The Witcher or Dragon Age Inquisition or Mass Effect or any games like that is, like, walk around my, like, spaceship or my camp and, like, interact with my crew.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I love, like, I don't know, that feeling of having, like, a virtual gang to hang out with, you know? And that's, like, the whole central, like, thing of this game.
Yeah, just having, like,
know?
your true, like, friends in the game.
Yeah,
or or you
totally.
can make them enemies.
Yeah. And, like, I don't know, the thing I like about this game is it's like I don't know, more than any other game I've ever played, it's like a life simulator almost, you know? Like, you do missions when you need money almost, you know, like you're like, oh shit, I need money to fucking feed my horse. I gotta go do a mission. You know what I mean? Like,
will your horse die if you don't feed it?
Yeah, probably.
Wow, fuck that game. I'm already done. I would be a stress ball. I would be like so anxious
I mean,
all
you
the
can
time.
feed it like anything you find. There's carrots laying like all over the game. Like, you know,
Oh, okay.
You can just like pick up oat cakes off the ground and fucking
Who
feed
the
it
fuck
to
is just leaving oat cakes everywhere? That
Bro,
person
you
should
could-
be hunted.
I mean, well, you know, I'm kind of busting into people's houses and stealing their
Oh,
shit.
okay,
It's
okay.
not like, you know, I'm
Just find an oat cake on the ground, like.
I'm a pretty bad dude in that game, man. Like, I care for my horse so much. Like, I'm constantly like brushing its mane and like fucking giving it lovins and pats and fucking giving it new like saddles and shit. But I'm such a dick to everybody else.
The
Like,
guy walks by.
I just
cap
shoot
him.
people in the street. Fucking like, you already know. Like, I'll go around the corner and just put my mask on and just come out and kill the whole fucking town.
God, that's awesome.
It's awesome, but like, it's cool, dude. I'm trying to grow my beard out really long right now. I don't know. There's just a lot. It's like having a second life. It really is. It's so excellent of a game, and I'm excited to see what they do with the online. But you know, at the same time, it's you know, it really feels a lot like the first one too. It's got a lot of the DNA of the first one in it still. You know what I mean? I thought it would be like a total departure, but
Some would say that DNA is deep within the sack of a horse.
of the horse. Dude, I was so disappointed. I got my horse, you know, and I like fell in love with the horse, and you know, it's just my boy, you know, and I was riding it everywhere, and then finally I was like, you know, I'm gonna check out the horse nut thing, and I looked and I realized my horse was a girl.
Does the vagina
Shrink.
shrink? And I don't know if that's like anatomically correct. I don't know.
I
Is
don't
that
know
a
about
possibility?
That, bro. It might shrink. I haven't. My horse's tail is in the way.
'Cause
Dude, there's so many like horse.
does it have a
custom-
horse vagina?
I don't know. Probably everything's pretty realistic. One of the grosser things is how realistic it is when you like skin stuff.
Oh wow.
Like I mean, it shows like, I mean, he does it a lot faster than you would do in real life, obviously, or else that would be really annoying. But like, it's pretty graphic. Like, he shows him like cutting the sinew and stuff, and like rolling the animal out of his skin and shit. And like, dude, it's so realistic, man. Every little detail is incredibly realistic. Like the horse won't poop unless you feed it. You know what I mean? Like fucking, like just everything, man. You get like the way you cook the meat. Like you can skin the deer, but there's still the deer carcass, and you can pick the deer carcass up and like put it on your horse. Or like if you get a deer skin, you don't just put it in your inventory. You like carry it to your horse and like put it across the back of your horse and like ride into town with like a bunch of fucking pelts you're trying to sell like stacked up on the back of your horse. You know what I mean? Like,
God,
it's so much detail. Like, you find yourself doing like little meticulous things, and I play a fuckload of poker in that game. Like, I love the poker in the first game. It was one of my favorite things to do.
I feel like you always get addicted to the games inside the games.
Yeah, I like that kind of thing. It gets me into the world.
Like
you
I
know
feel
what
like
I mean?
you played a lot of Gwent. Like whenever
Oh
you
fuck
played
no!
Witcher.
I did not play Gwent.
You didn't?
No.
Okay.
Fuck Gwent.
What was the other one? No, you played a lot of
Played a lot of Pazak
Pazak.
and
That's what it
fucking-
was.
and KOTOR.
What about in Pokemon? Did you ever go and play the slots?
the slots? Oh, bro, I played the fuck out of the slots.
Yeah, that's
I walked around that whole casino because if you just walk around the casino pressing A, you can find money on the ground.
yeah, dude, and just slot it up. Just get slotty in there.
But man, there's so much I could say about Red Dead, but I'm sure everybody's like been through the
Deep
ringer
in
with. Yeah, I mean, it's a masterpiece. It's really good.
I've actually heard a lot of naysayers. Honestly, I've heard a lot of people saying it's too slow for them. Like
it is. I mean, it's slow paced. It's a slow burn, but it's not slow because like
it's bad. And it's not slow like frame rate or anything like that. Now I just like I've heard that like the story is like the pacing's really slow. I've actually heard somebody on a podcast talking about how they were 20 hours into the game and still didn't feel like the game had even started yet, like the story.
Oh, they're tripping.
But I mean that's just their opinion. Obviously, I don't know what to think because I haven't played it. But I'm just.
I mean, it's an excellent game. Dude.
I'm just asking.
There's gonna be people that fucking say shitty bullshit about every game. There were people that were hating on that God of War game that came out, and that's a fucking masterpiece. And honestly, everybody's saying, "Oh, this is game of the year." I still think God of War is in the running. You know what I mean? God of War looks better to me graphically.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those are some big words.
That is some big
words.
Well,
see, the thing with
But also, I'm not playing on an Xbox One X. This is the first time I've ever played a game and been like, damn, I wish I had an Xbox One X or a PS4 Pro, Yeah. Like, I don't know.
I could even tell from the trailers that it still has that, like, Rockstar like GTA feel to it, like the like blocky like movement. You know what I'm talking about?
It kind of does,
and like
in some aspects, it depends. You gotta like be good at the Rockstar moving around. You know what I mean? I will say this: the first person mode is significantly better than the first person mode in Grand Theft Auto. I find myself constantly switching back and forth between first person mode and third person mode depending on the situation. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Like, I don't know, it's really cool.
So do you think you'll how many hours in are you?
Oh man, it's hard to say. A lot.
A lot of hours in.
I don't know, every time I turn it on it's like fucking like 12, and then all of a sudden I like look over at the clock and like the sun's coming up and shit, and it's 7 a.m. and it's like, oh my god, what happened?
So you're playing in like 7-hour blocks.
Yeah, that's the only way to play this game. I mean, you know, like you get sucked into the point where you have to like play for like chunks. Like, I don't know. It's a really good game. It's shoulder to shoulder with Grand Theft Auto 5 as one of the best games ever, I feel like. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's cool.
I think, like, you remember when Grand Theft Auto 4 came out, and it was good, and it looked really good, but it wasn't, like, as full as, like, San Andreas, and, like, there were a few people that were kind of disappointed about it, and then 5 came out, and it, like, blew everybody's fucking shit back. Yeah. I feel like this is the GTA 5 to Red Dead Redemption 1. You know, I mean, obviously that, that is what you would expect, but,
it's like the next level.
It is. It's the next level in general. And mainly because, like, there's just so many details. Like, when you're walking through the world, so much shit happens. Like, when a little event happens in-game, a little, like, blip will go off on your minimap. And, like, you can kind of look over there and see some kind of crazy shit. Maybe it's, like, two guys getting into a fight or some, construction guys cutting a tree down or something, or, like, some lady getting her purse snatched or just all kinds of random shit. And it happens all the time. Like, you're constantly walking, you just see a little blip. And it's just like the world is just so full of shit going on. It's just crazy. And it's always happening at all different times of night. And it's always different. You never see the same two things happen. And even the little missions that, like, don't need a cutscene or something, like they get like a really fleshed out cutscene. I don't know. It's just like a lot of love went into that game. It's
nice.
like
and when the cinematic mode and stuff.
Totally. It's like one of the first games I've played that it's like, again, aside from God of War, where I feel like, man, this is next gen. Like, this is what I wanted whenever the next gen of consoles came out. This is what I expected all games would be like. You know what I mean?
Awesome. Hopefully that's what we'll get next gen.
Right.
Cool. So that's what you've been playing?
Yeah, that's what I've been playing.
All right. Well, guys, let us know what you've been playing, what you think about Red Dead over at Facebook, at facebook.com/group/GameSpeak Podcast, or you can just leave it a comment in the YouTube video. So we're going to jump into the topic of the show. This is it. We're going into the scariest video game characters.
Whoa.
Who's so scary?
So scary. We got a scary episode for you guys today. Very scary.
Yes. And I guess I'll start it off.
Start it off.
One that we can both relate to. Marta from Outlast 2. The giant crucifix pickaxe woman. Or whatever. Like, I found out, I did some studying on her just for this. I found out she's actually a person. You know, like a real life person that
she's
just
just
lives
like
in the
Yao
village.
Ming tall.
Yeah, she's like 7 feet tall. She has to like crouch to like get through doors or like hunch over and stuff. But she's very pyramid heady. That's what she reminds me of. She's like the pyramid head of Outlast.
Yeah.
And she's got that very like omniscient like feel to her. Like it's like almost like she knows where you're at. Even though you're trying to hide, it's like even though you know it's futile, and she's gonna bust through the door and like fuck you up. But yeah, so like you always see her in like the middle of like this little town, or like, you know, like whenever you're out in the village and it's like foggy and you just see this tall like outline of a person or a creature just standing there. Oh,
see, I feel you. I definitely feel you. But like Outlast 2 didn't scare me as much as Outlast 1 for some reason. And
really,
I think I know why.
Why is that?
It's because Outlast 1 has, like, it's a combination of the monsters and environment from Outlast 1.
Yeah, place.
Because, yeah, the place freaked me out. It's like, with Outlast 2, where you're so out in the open, I feel like I could just take off running in any direction and be fine. You know what I mean? Just, like, run to the hills and I'd be okay. But in, like, Outlast 1, you get this, like, this dreadful sense of like I'm in this dark basement type area, and if my fucking light goes out, I'm like trapped in this dark space alone. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
when you're in the school in Outlast 2, that shit's pretty
the school
fucked.
was freaky. Don't get me wrong, Outlast 2 definitely had its moments, but like Outlast 1 was like a fucking terror fest to me. Like I
feel that.
And Whistleblower was scary too as fuck on Outlast 1. Outlast 2 had better graphics and stuff too, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. They definitely have their pros and cons, but I gotta say, when we're talking about Outlast 1, both of the main fucking bad guys from Outlast 1 scare the hell out of me. The doctor guy who cuts your finger off. Oh, dude, that guy is
I forgot about that, dude.
Fucking scary, dude. Holy shit.
I remember the first time you get your finger cut off, you remember the first time? No, but like the first time that happened, I was like, what the fuck? Like, I did not expect that.
I was not ready for that. And the whole rest of the game, you're just fucking fingerless.
Yeah.
And like, and then, of course, the big guy from Outlast 1 fucking was scary as
hell. The big brute dude.
Yeah, I think that those two were the combination that made Outlast 1 so fucking scary. Like,
even whenever he first appears,
he surprises the hell out of you sometimes.
Yeah, like when you're going through that bookshelf at the very beginning, and you're like sliding through in that first big jump scare with him.
Snatches you up and fucking throws you through the glass. Like...
Yeah, I thought I fucked up. Like, I didn't realize that it's part of the game.
Me too.
But yeah, no, that dude's good. Outlast had some good terrifying characters.
Definitely.
Okay, so I take it that was one of yours, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so for some reason my phone is just like locked, like not locked, but like there we go. Okay, not really numbered. I'm just going off of these, but Poppet, the little girl chipmunk in Conker's Bad Fur Day. I don't know if you remember this part.
I don't know
but
if I do.
There's like a part in the story where you reach this little island or like this little like it's during war, like the
level war, or
like the chapter war.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of the levels there where you finally reach this area and you're about to fight the boss, but you don't realize the boss is this tiny little chipmunk girl. She's like it's really creepy. Like she's kind of like floating there, looks like a puppet almost. And her head like turns really creepily, but she's acting all like nice and stuff. She's like, "Hey, do you think you could help me with something?" And, you're like, "Oh yeah, for sure." And and she's like, "They've got a couple of bombs faced this way," and like she knows a lot about like weapons for some reason. And she's like, "Oh, they taught us at school or whatever." And it's obviously really like there's something about her. And then she ends up pulling like a full Exorcist situation where she's like, "Do you know what your fucking daughter did?" or whatever, and like it just like goes insane. And then like it turns out she's actually like a fucking giant boss.
That's scary as hell.
Yeah, it was pretty creepy when I was a kid. I used to like not want to do that part in the game.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Yeah, everyone should look up Poppet. She was actually based on the girl from The Exorcist. So
I like that. So check this out. Everybody knows about the nurses from Silent Hill, where you look at them and they don't move. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's something even creepier to me in the game. Until Dawn: Rush of Blood. There's these nurses, but when you look at them, they fucking scurry off really fucking fast. And it's like a VR game, so you're in this fucking basically the premise of the game is you're in a roller coaster and you're riding through a haunted house.
I played that.
Shit.
Yeah.
Well, in this level, you're in a little roller coaster and you roll up to this room and you stop. And the nurse thing crawls out on the fucking wall.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah,
and you
really
shoot at it and it
creepy.
zips off to another fucking part of the room and it's zipping around the room.
Super fast.
And it gets really close to you and it's fucking scary. Just because it moves so fast,
you can hear it creeping behind you and stuff. Yeah.
You hear it, you see it on the walls and shit, and I don't know, it's terrifying. That's one of the scarier things that crawl on the walls. I'm gonna go ahead and tell another one because it's very similar.
Yeah.
Fucking Margaret from Marguerite, I don't remember, from Resident Evil 7, the wife.
Oh yeah.
Oh my fucking god, dude. When she hits her final boss form and she there's a point where she changes and her limbs get extra long and she crawls on the ceiling and shit. It's fucking scary as fuck. If you crawl on the fucking ceiling, I'm scared of that. I don't know. That scares the hell out of me.
Just so you know, if you have the ability to crawl on the ceiling, please don't do that.
Yes, for my sake, just
don't.
Just hold off.
Yeah, I remember that. I think my initial fear for things that crawl on walls actually started with that movie Constantine.
Oh,
do you remember at the beginning?
I remember Constantine.
She's like, he's in the room. She's in the room. And he opens the door and it's the chick is up in the top corner of their room. And she's
is that the part where he is in the mirror or he's trying to get him in the mirror? Or
yeah. It's just up in the corner and trying to perform the exorcism and he's just screeching. And I feel that. So number 5 or fuck, why do I keep saying numbers? I have them numbered. Sorry guys. These aren't actually numbered, but I just threw them on a list. But the mannequins from Condemned.
Oh yeah, from Condemned, Criminal Origins. There's a lot of scary shit in that game, but that was probably the freakiest to me.
Well, see, yeah, there's several parts in that game where the mannequins appear. There's one where you're in a department store and you're walking through and they're all just around you, and as you turn around, they're closer and closer. Very similar to that thing that happened in Call of Duty, in that multiplayer map where you can get them all to follow you. But there's also one part where you drop down in this hole, a crack in the floor, and you drop down into it, and then whenever you look back up, they're all looking down into the hole at you. And oh my fucking goodness,
oh yeah, dude, I remember that
scared the shit out of me.
That was so freaky because the mannequins never really attacked you or anything in that game. They were just
no, they did. Or at least in 2, I think it was that they attack you.
Really? I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, check this out. Fucking kind of similar to the mannequin thing. There's, in the game The Exorcist VR, there's this fucking baby doll, right? And it's you go across the room, and there's a mannequin in the room, which is why it's kind of relatable. But you go across the room, and you see the baby doll, and you're looking at it, and you have to look at it for 3 or 4 seconds before it'll do this. But you look at it for a little bit, and then it turns its head really fast at you. You know what I mean? And it's fucking scary in VR. But then later in the game, you get lost in this maze of mannequins, and you're walking through this mannequin maze, and all of a sudden that fucking same possessed baby doll starts crawling on the ceiling over your head, and it's fucking head is spinning as it crawls.
That's when you take off the VR helmet and you throw it in the fucking dumpster and you never play again.
Yeah, dude, that shit was so scary.
I don't know how you play those games. I don't know. I honestly don't understand the you must not your amygdala must not function like a normal human.
I was about to say honestly, there are a lot of real life situations that should should make me more scared that don't make me as scared. And I think that's because I've like conditioned myself to like not be as scared of things while I'm playing these scary games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that whenever you were a kid, you just kind of were like whatever about the fucking knocking in your closet.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
And I don't care how many times I heard that or how many times it didn't hurt me. I would never.
I think it you just kind of get desensitized to it after a while. You know what I mean?
You get desensitized. I would never be. I could if I heard a knock in my closet today as a grown man. You know,
I would be more scared as a grown man. I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like now, if it happened again now, I think I would be a little. I mean, I don't know.
I would grab my guitar and I would just start swinging aimlessly into the closet and hope that whoever's in there
shooting holes in your closet
just fucking takes a fucking hammer to the head. But anyways, that I couldn't do that. I couldn't be or like play a VR horror game by myself. Like there'd have to be someone sitting there in the room with me. Like absolutely.
Yeah.
And even then I'd be scared as fuck. But anyways,
that's the worst part about VR horror games is you start thinking about like, man, what's going on outside of the helmet right now? It's like you start like picturing all the scary monsters from the game are like
that's
standing right next to you, like looking at you. You know what I mean?
That's why I can't do it. It's not the fact that they're in the game; it's the fact that
they could be in real life.
Just like fucking chilling, just fucking in the corner of your. You take off the VR helmet.
Dude.
Or like if you look down, like, and you know how you can see out the little gap in between the VR, you like look down and you see 2 feet just like standing, like pointing at you.
No,
I hope you think about that while you play. Now.
I do think about it. You know what's the worst is like I have cats, so sometimes I'll be playing and my cat will like jump and like fucking smack me on the back or something.
Okay, so for me, I got The Gatherers, which is from Amnesia: The Dark Descent. Now, these are like the only real threat in the game, I feel like. But there's like 2 different kinds. I forget what they're called, but they both have this like very amphibious look to them. It's like something that you'd see in Silent Hill, like in the original Silent Hill games, except for their mouth is like this really long fucking like... It like hangs down and lays on their fucking chest, and it like comes up, and they've got like these tiny little teeth along it, and it's really fucking gross, really fucking creepy, and like they'll just follow you around, and like like it's just fucking creepy. They freaked me out for a while, even though I wasn't the biggest fan of that game. They did a good job with being creepy about that.
Yeah,
so.
For real. Let's see. You gotta put fucking Alma from Fear on here. She's like the little girl in Fear.
Oh, yeah.
What was freaky about Fear was I feel like it was one of the first games to use like to implement the camera in a way where like you would turn and something would happen based on what direction you were facing or like where you were positioned. You know what I mean? So like every time I played through it, some other paranormal event would trigger that I didn't do last time, you know? And I don't know, I always thought that was so cool. Like, you'll be walking and you'll see her, like, just standing, looking at you through a doorway or something, and you look back and she's not there anymore, you know?
And then you turn back around, she's right in front of your fucking face.
Yes, dude. Little shit like that. And they were really good about it, clever about it. And, you know, they were good at predicting what you would most likely do after you did something, you know, after you saw something, you know what I mean? So
I think probably the biggest jump scare I got out of that game was there's like a part where you climb down a ladder and then you walk across and then you climb back up another one.
Yeah.
And at the top, like, it was like
I remember that part
out,
specifically. Dude. It's like you turn around to get on the ladder and it's like standing right in front of you. Because there's like an animation they do when you get on the ladders. Like
that's what it was. Yeah.
Oh man,
fucking
that shit's
terrifying.
freaky. And, you know, another thing that game did really well is like use auditory cues to get you to look where it wanted you to. Like, you'd be sitting there and you'd hear something behind
like a can
you.
fall
down. Or like a whisper, and you'd like turn around to investigate, and you'd fall right into their fucking little trap.
Oh yeah, dude. Good. It was a good game.
Yeah, Alma specifically was just a scary character, though.
And then, so if you know me in real life, you know this. But if you don't know me,
you know this.
You're about to know this. I am absolutely terrified of sharks. Like, sharks just fucking
baby shark, dude.
kill me mentally. Like I'm afraid to get into the ocean.
That's so weird.
I'm very, very terrified. It's an irrational fear.
No, it's okay. I mean,
but look at them. They're fucking soulless, like tanks that just eat things. You know, like
they're just fish with teeth.
Exactly, big fucking soulless fish with teeth. Anyways, they just like their eyes stare into nothingness. Anyways, and also the fact that you can't really defend yourself that well in water. I feel like water is like one of those vulnerable places where like it's like a nightmare where like in your dreams you try to get into a fight and you punch in slow motion. Like that's fighting in water. You know, so like you go to punch it in the face and like really you just kind of like tapping. It's like, what the fuck, dude? I'm like 20 feet long. Anyways, but anyways, so because of that, Mama Neptune from Resident Evil just got done with Resident Evil, which is like the big shark in the aqua ring. I don't know if you got to that part, right? So,
I don't remember it. I played it as a kid, but
so there's like a part in the game where like this like. And once you get to the labs where the aqua ring had a leak, and so it filled all the way up, and you're like walking through this area, and there's two T virus infected sharks that are like chasing you the whole time. They just ate one of your people, just like jumped out of the water. And then there's one big shark, Mama Neptune, who's like ginormous, and she's under the water, and like she's set on a timer where if you don't get to the platform that you're supposed to get to in a certain amount of time, it's an automatic insta kill. Like she'll just pop up out of the water and just like grab you and basically destroy you. It's really terrifying because you don't know when that time is. It's a random timer, so every time you go, it's like. You could get fucked. But anyways, yeah, and she's really creepy looking. She's scarred up and stuff, and T-virus infected. So, definitely terrifying for me.
Okay, so I have a couple here that are all just random, like N64 things that shouldn't be scary, but scare the hell out of me. So I'm just gonna lump these all into one little group and tell you about all of them. But first of all, the Skull Kid from Zelda or from Majora's Mask, man. Freaked me out. And am I wrong? Was the Skull Kid also the mask guy? Or is the mask guy his own guy? The guy who's in Clocktown the whole time?
I think that's his own guy.
He's fucking scary too, dude. He's
more scary.
He's scarier than the fucking Skull Kid, bro.
He looks like a creepypasta character.
He really does, bro. He's so fucking scary.
I'm surprised they haven't made him into a creepypasta, like the mask salesman. Like, he's just like, he shows
terrifying.
Up. Yeah, he looks like some out of Courage the Cowardly Dog.
And the fucking moon is scary too. That whole game had a lot of little scary things going on with it. You know what I mean?
It was a dark game.
You know who else is scary?
Who's that?
The fucking Great Fairy.
The Great Fairy is not really scary. Are you talking about the one she's like...
Yes, dude. The big woman. She's freaky, dude. I don't care.
Whenever I was a kid, I totally thought she was hot.
You know who else is scary?
Who's that?
Fucking Tingle, bro.
Tingle is scary in a weird, perverted way.
Tingle's scary in like a don't let him around the park while your daughter's playing kind of way, you know?
He really is. He's definitely got that creepy uncle, feel to him.
And he's like flying around up there on his balloon, just being a perv, like
just looking down,
just
shirts
watching,
and shit.
Totally.
And any dudes with baggy pants.
But so those are all my like Zelda ones. But then from Mario 64.
Oh shit, we could talk about that for days.
Fucking the eel. Specifically the eel was scary to me.
Terrify me.
But also, this is like the big one to me. You remember the piano?
I was about to say that, the piano.
Fuck.
Big jump scare, actually.
Dude, that was scary as hell, dude.
Randomly in the middle of Mario. And
I wasn't
the thing
ready
wanted
for
to
that
fucking
level,
eat
dude.
you.
Yeah, dude. Holy shit. I was like scared to go in that room, dude.
Same.
I would like accidentally walk in the piano room and like my heart would start beating fast and shit.
Fuck,
I'm like, dude, that thing's gonna kill me.
Dude, that's actually a good one. I completely forgot about the piano.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like creepy characters from like cute games, but mainly anything underwater. Underwater shit scares the fuck out of me.
You remember that shark guy from Banjo-Kazooie?
I never beat Banjo.
Fuck, I can't even remember his name. I watched my girlfriend play Banjo-Kazooie all the way through pretty recently. There's this big shark. It's like a metal shark. He's fucking freaky.
Yeah, that's terrifying. That's actually another thing in Conquerors, the sharks. whenever they like eat the catfish ladies, and it's like really fucking brutal.
Rare
and they like chase you.
Make some scary ass sharks.
Yeah, they're kind of fucked up.
I got a bunch more, so I can keep going if you want.
I mean, it's up to you. Name a couple more, and then I'll name some.
Okay, you remember Nemesis from Resident Evil 3?
Of
you gotta
course, yeah.
remember Nemesis.
I didn't even. I haven't even played that game, and I remember Nemesis.
Bro, he's even scarier once you play the game, because I don't know what makes Nemesis scary was like he's the first instance of like a smart T-virus zombie that can like think and stuff, and like I don't know.
Yeah, and he's just like following you the whole game.
Yeah, he's specifically targeting like you. He's like basically like zombie Terminator, you know what I mean? And he's just terrifying looking. Like his lips are all peeled back. I think that's the
what
worst
freaks
part.
me
Me out is the lips, and the fact that like half of his head is stitched to the other half. I don't know.
I don't know if I mentioned this on the last episode, but it's very much like in like SpongeBob whenever they zoom in and like you see the really gross, disgusting version of everything. That's exactly what
Nemesis looks like. Yeah.
But speaking of Nemesis, in Resident Evil, Lisa Trevor. I don't know if you remember Lisa Trevor, but she was a little girl, but basically she works like Nemesis in certain parts of the game where you can't kill her.
Yeah, isn't she in the first game?
Yeah, she's in the first game.
Yeah.
And she's like really, she kind of like,
she's got her hands
hunched
in like
over.
the cuff thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
she's scary.
She's wearing the skin of her mother's face over her face.
Oh,
so
hell no.
Yeah, and it's really creepy because like you see her and then like, you get a note from like Wesker or whatever and he's like, here, I left this ammo for you to help out with that invincible girl or whatever. And you run into her at this like out in the middle of the fucking nowhere, like at a cabin, and you find her journal and you find out that she was like a little girl that they were doing tests on, and like they were doing tests on her mom, and her mom died. Her mom became a creature, and she ended up like she was like in the thing. You slowly hear her going crazy, like the way she's writing. She's like, "Mommy is not the same mommy. I had to take her face so I can give it back to the real mommy when I find her, and like so I'll wear it on my face so she remembers it." And like so like she's just this fucking like creature girl that's been out in the middle of nowhere for years, just like walking around with her
terrifying.
mom's face.
That's fucking so scary.
Yeah, I know, dude. Anyways,
oh man. Fucking, let's see. Okay, you know who's scary, but probably isn't really meant to be like he isn't meant to like scare you every time you see him. Baraka from Mortal Kombat.
He is pretty scary, I guess. But the whole concept of Mortal Kombat is pretty scary.
Like, imagine if you just woke up and Baraka was standing by your bed, just like.
And I feel like the word Baraka kind of loses its like fear factor.
Yeah,
now
they should have named him something less.
Well, they didn't think about Barack Obama, in the future. They didn't know.
Yeah, good point. There's no way they could have known.
But Baraka, yeah, was definitely terrifying. I think, like I said, I think Mortal Kombat had this kind of like adult creepiness to it whenever I was a kid,
Yeah, totally.
So the last one I got is the witch from Left 4 Dead.
Oh, I got her on mine too. That shit is scary, bro. When
especially
she starts
the first
coming
time
at you, dude. It's like, oh god.
It's just like you hear that scream in the fucking distance, and shit's about to get real. Somebody's about to get fucking mauled, dude.
Yeah, definitely.
And you just don't want it to be you. You know what I'm saying? It's such a cool idea for a game like that. It really is. It's so cool.
It really is. And the singing, when you're like that, that's what makes it creepy, is like it's the coming, and it's like when you finally find it, it's like, oh shit, there it is.
Yeah, dude.
That's the fucking witch. Like,
definitely.
Let's see. I've got a couple more. I'm just gonna rattle them off real quick for you because I think you'll appreciate these.
Okay.
First of all, from Silent Hill 4, I didn't even play the whole game, but I remember this very vividly. There's these monsters, and they're like this fucking torso. It doesn't have any legs, and it's got two heads. And it's
the twin?
The twin things, yeah. And it's like way bigger than you, and it crawls on its hands at you.
God,
and it fucking but like the thing is, it doesn't like, if you stand far enough back from it, it doesn't even attack you. It just like stands on one hand and like points at you, and like it's fucking creepy.
It's so I feel like a lot of creepypastas come from like the characters in Silent Hill and stuff.
Totally.
Or, like, the way that characters are developed in that game.
Mhm.
So fucking creepy.
Fucking weird.
Anything
dude.
that crawls, it doesn't matter if it's on a wall or a ceiling, if it's on the ground even. Crawlers are never good.
Yeah, dude. They're scary as hell,
There's
man.
something wrong if you're crawling.
Let's see. Did you finish Manhunt?
No, I did not. No.
Okay. Well, at the very end of Manhunt, you fight this dude in a pig mask named Pigsy, and he's fucking scary as hell, dude. He, like, pops out of nowhere and, like, tries to kill you with a chainsaw. I mean, pig masks have always freaked me out ever since I watched this.
Saw.
No, even before Saw, there was this episode of fucking some like Disney Channel show I used to watch.
Fuck.
I think it was Smart Guy. And fucking, there's an episode where there's like a fucking pig mask killer running around. Scared the fuck out of me.
No.
Maybe it was Saved by the Bell.
No. I think you were right, and it's the pig mask guy, but he brings like this weird doll, right?
Yeah. And that scared the hell out of me as a kid, dude.
And the doll was actually what's his name? The nerdy guy. What's the nerdy guy? I'm not big on
I don't remember.
No, the first show you said, what was the
Smart Guy, but I can't.
No,
remember.
it wasn't Smart. Was it Smart Guy?
I think it was Smart Guy.
Yeah, it was
the little kid who was in college, but he was like way too young to be in college.
Yeah, and I think it was like a doll of him, basically, right?
Oh,
or something like that.
All I remember is that the guy was wearing a pig mask, and there's a part where he like pops up. They're sitting on the couch, and he pops up from behind the couch and like cuts the couch in half with a fucking like meat cleaver, and that scared the fuck out of me, dude. When I was a kid, I was not ready for that. Like,
and he was like hiding under the stairwell.
Yes.
Oh my god, why was that a kids show?
I don't know. It was just that one episode. All the other fucking episodes were normal as fuck. Like,
they kind of did that with like Boy Meets World.
Yeah,
and stuff
I was about to say
but...
there was another show. Boy Meets World had a good episode like that. The Halloween episode of Boy Meets World. Let's see. But yeah, Pigsy's fucking scary.
Speaking of chainsaws, though, and I didn't write this down, but I should have mentioned it. Resident Evil 4, the chainsaw guys.
Oh yeah.
The first time,
baghead dude that fucking with the chainsaw.
Yeah, every time you hear that fucking chainsaw, you know you're either fucked or you got to get lucky and get this dude dead before he fucks you.
Get him dead.
Yeah, because like, dude, the first time you get your fucking head decapitated, it's just not what you would expect.
Yeah, you're not ready for it.
No, not at all.
Let's see. Okay, I know it's not a full game or anything, but the fucking monster at the end of Silent Hill PT.
Yeah, PT.
Fucking scary. There's like that bulgy eye, dude. It's like what freaks me out. It's like, oh.
And the chick.
Yeah.
Everything about.
Well, I mean,
PT.
it was this is what I'm talking about. The chick with like the fucking weird bulgy eye.
Oh, okay.
Like, she gets right in your face at the end, and, like, one of her eyeballs is all fucking fugly and, like, off-center. It's fucking weird, dude, and scary. Okay, this is one that's just scary because of, like, the presence and, like, what you know they can do to you. The Big Daddies from BioShock, like the original BioShock.
See, and that's the thing. The more I played BioShock, the less the Big Daddies were scary. Like, the further you get into the story, I think...
Yeah, the stronger you get, the less intimidating they are.
Yeah, or at least the fear factor's taken away.
But, like, the first time you encounter a Big Daddy, it's fucking scary. Especially when you hear... The first time you hear those footsteps coming through the level, and you're just like...
Or whenever you see it, like... because the first time you see them, you're, like, chilling up on the railing, or, like, on the walkway above, like, a stage. Like, remember the stage performance thing?
And
then
drills you, right? Or
no,
it knocks you off somehow.
Well, she's like sticking.
That's
a dude.
when you get your plasmid for the first time.
Yes,
right?
yeah. Because she's like sticking a dude with a syringe, and like you see it from upstairs, and then you're on the other side of like a bulletproof glass or something. And but
that's the first time you see the Big Daddy is when you see that guy get killed.
Yeah,
because he's trying to get the little sister. And he like fucks him up through the fucking glass. Yeah,
that is terrifying. Like, I think that's pretty scary, and also just like the people there, like the characters there, like the fucking deranged, like whatever they've become, like especially the rabbit ears people and like the weird like the weird masks. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
yeah,
like there's like a part. It's just like the citizens of Rapture, you know, like after everything, and they're all like kind of drugged out, like crazy.
Yeah, that shit's freaky.
But yeah, and the one where she has a baby, like, or she has like a baby carriage, and you can hear her singing. You see like her shadow,
and it's just a gun in the fucking baby carriage.
Yeah, I was like, oh, fuck.
That was fucking scary, dude.
What's she called? She's a splicer, right? That's what they're called.
Splicer, yeah.
Anyways,
at the time when that game came out, it was even scarier too, just because you know how different it was and shit. Like,
yeah, definitely.
Okay, this one is one that's like a little weird, and it's like he's not like a mean character or anything, but the Cheshire Cat from Alice.
Oh
American
yeah, he is
McGee's
definitely
Alice
creepy.
Freaks me out, dude. He's like disappearing, reappearing all over the place.
It's like very skeletal.
And like right when you get used to him not freaking you out every time he appears, the fucking game kills him. It's like, oh, you fucking dick.
Damn.
But no, yeah. So that's what I got. There's a couple other really freaky characters in the Alice games, but Cheshire Cat's the one that sticks out in my memory. Her and the doll maker from Madness Returns. He was really freaky.
Yeah, there's a bunch of fucking creepy Alice shit, dude. Like, Alice Madness Returns was a little less scary to me than the first one. And I think it has something to do with the way it looks. Like, because Alice, the original, was so, like, old and, like, something about that polygonal, you know, weird, like, look to old games.
Creepy.
Yeah, it was, like, foggy.
Also, though, at the same time, on the same page as that, the original Alice looked a lot better for its time than Madness Return looked for its time. Madness Return looked great. I mean, not great, but it looked good.
Just not for...
But not as good as, like, you know, like if you were to compare it to other games of the era compared to, like, Alice compared to other games of its era. You know what I mean?
Just relatively speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
But yeah, so that's what I got. Scary shit.
Yeah, scary characters, guys. Let us know if we missed any of your favorite scary characters in video games. We're going to move on to the People's Champ. And this week, it's none other than Sarah Brock. Brent, give us the quest.
The quest is on the way.
It's a quest for the quest.
The quest for the quest. Okay. So Sarah Brock says, in an all-out brawl between all of the fictional horror movie serial killers, who do you think would win and why?
An all-out brawl. So it's like a what?
Like a battle royale.
A battle royale.
Yeah.
Okay. A royal rumble is what's happening here.
All of the horror movie serial killers.
That's really tough to say. I automatically exclude Michael Myers because I feel like
You can't exclude Michael Myers.
No, I'm just talking about, like, I think he's dead.
Oh, yeah. He would definitely lose the fight.
Yeah, if you were to pit Michael Myers against even Jason, he'd be fucked, I think.
Yeah, he would definitely lose against Jason because Jason beats Freddy. Or not beats Freddy, but Jason could compete with Freddy at least.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we wouldn't have that fucking movie. And I think Freddy would be the one to bet your money on for most of this. You know what I mean? Just because of his supernatural abilities. You know what I mean?
But, I mean, Jason has supernatural abilities, too. He's a zombie.
Yeah, but Jason's abilities are more, like, reincarnation and, like, durability. You know what I mean? Whereas Freddy can, like, get in your mind.
He's got speed.
Disappear. So he doesn't have to, like, physically be there. He could, like materialize and shit. You know what I mean? Like...
True. What about Scream? You know, is Scream in this? Is Ghostface
Well, the problem with Ghostface is, first of all, he's a different person every movie.
Yeah, but he always plays the same character. Like, minus the part where you find out who's under the mask, Ghostface is a character itself. Like, he's still the clumsy, like, he flips over everything, like, runs around.
Ghostface wouldn't stand a chance against any of them.
No, you don't think? What about Hellraiser?
Mainly because he's just a normal guy. Hellraiser... probably would stand a chance, but I think would end up getting bested by Jason. He would probably beat Michael Myers.
Leatherface. We got to bring some Leatherface.
Again, Leatherface is kind of psycho. He's real strong, but I think he's more of just a normal guy.
True.
I think he would get fucked up by Jason.
We could venture out even just a little bit and talk about The Hills Have Eyes. You know?
Okay, we got some mutants.
We got some big mutants.
Now, I think we could just say basically the Hills Have Eyes mutants can all work together.
Yeah,
so, they count as like one
a
unit.
hive mind.
Yeah, a hive mind. So they might have more of a chance just because there's a bunch of them, but they'd have to like all stick together.
True.
Like, okay, say there's a horror movie, right? And like all the Hills Have Eyes guys are just chilling in a fucking house, and then Jason comes in and tries to kill them like they're just some campers at Crystal Lake. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fucking, I don't know if that would play out in Jason's favor. I don't know. That's a good one. That's a good one right there.
And as much as I hate to say it, Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah.
Jeepers Creepers is another very strong, durable killer.
Yeah, an interesting factor with Jeepers Creepers guy is he is known to use projectiles. So there would be a little bit of an edge there.
Like a nice little...
He could throw that shit at you from a distance.
Belly button skin shuriken.
You gotta consider Chucky for this too. Even though he's small, you know what I mean?
He's a demon.
Yeah, and he's got like infinite body. So if they kill one of the Chuckies, as long as they could find a way to like transfer the soul to a different Chucky doll, you could keep on having Chuckies.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Chucky could be affected by Freddy, because how are you going to get in the dreams of a doll? I mean, does the doll even need to sleep technically? You know?
That's kind of the same thing with, like, well, no, because Jason did dream. That's the whole point of Freddy versus Jason, is that he could fight him. I mean, does Michael... Well, yeah, Michael's got to sleep. I guess you're right. I think it'd come down to a fight between Freddy and Chucky.
That would be fucking weird.
It would be a really funny movie, though.
Freddy v. Chucky.
Freddy v. Chucky, dude. And, like, in that case, I still think it comes down to Freddy. I think Freddy's gonna win this.
Yeah.
Just because he's fucking Freddy, and he lost to Jason for some reason in the movie, which I think is some bullshit. No,
I don't think he did, because at the end,
he cut his head off. He cut Freddy's head off at the end.
I thought Freddy cut Jason's head off. My bad. I'm remembering it wrong.
Yeah.
But whoever got their head cut off opened their eyes after the end.
Yeah, it was Freddy.
You know, he might not be dead.
Which is very Inception-like. You know, like, it's like, oh, was he still dreaming, or was this in reality?
Yeah, you never know.
I'm going to say Freddy takes the cake, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I think he was...
Now, can we throw Predator in the mix here?
I feel like that's more action. That'd be like bringing in Alien. You know, like I guess it counts as like serial killing.
Yeah, I mean, like it's like kind of a slasher movie.
He's a hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or what about? Yeah. No, definitely.
Because I think Predator could compete a lot better.
I think Predator would get fucked up by Freddy, though. You know, the moment he went to sleep, because he wouldn't even understand. He'd be like, "What the fuck?"
True, but at the same time, would Freddy understand how to torment a predator?
Yeah.
Like, what makes a predator tick? You know, how would we know what kind of what are the deepest fears of a predator?
Not being the ultimate predator. You know, like
fair enough.
That's all. That's what their goal is to be the ultimate predator.
But is that really their goal, or is that just like a sport that they do on the side?
It's like a sport, but it's also part of their society, dude. Like they're like a society of like Spartans, basically.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, we want to fight the world's strongest predators, which is humans for some reason. You know,
or aliens,
and AVP.
Yeah.
But I mean, minus AVP and all that bullshit, it just comes down to predators wanting to kill humans.
Yeah.
Okay. We got miniguns.
All right. Well, in the same question,
it choppers.
By the way, Sarah, great question.
Yeah, very good question.
In the same question, she says, "Okay, and what about real life serial killers? Who would win?" Ooh. Now, this is a little more practical, I think, because there's not as many variables here.
The problem with most real serial killers is that they're all fucking like, neurotic, like loser weirdos, and like you put them in one room, they're all kind of just like, you know, like, I mean, it like, imagine Ted Bundy and like fucking, you know, I think maybe Richard Ramirez would be like a someone who would do it, because he was known for like just walking up and just like pulling a gun out and just blasting someone in the face.
Okay, no guns though.
That's still serial killing.
Let's just say they're all bare knuckle and they're all in a room together, and like if you don't fight, you're gonna get shot, so you have to fight.
But see, my problem with that is we're basing this off of just like their skill to fight, or are we? You would have to base it off of how they killed. You know, like what is their trademark? You know,
but
Ted Bundy was very.
The question specifically is asking about a battle to the death.
Yeah, of course.
She said, in an all-out brawl between all of the killers.
Okay, so, I thought we were just getting into how they fucking killed. But I guess, yeah, if they're just all going to duke it out, then whoever the biggest one is, Richard Kuklinski.
Well, see, I'm imagining with the fictional serial killers, they can just kind of like cha-cha-cha-cha away into the darkness, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like it's a little more practical to think about it in the terms. But, like, I'm thinking about, like, if you rounded up all these serial killers, and they're all in their prime, like, let's say that, like, older serial killers that are dead now could totally participate, you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm thinking whoever's the biggest dude is probably going to win.
That's what I just said, which would be Richard Kuklinski. He was like a big mob boss type dude. What if though? Check it out. Or even what's the guy from? They had him in Mindhunter. The really big dude.
Ed Gaines?
No, not Ed Gaines. Or Ed Gein. What the fuck is that dude's name? Really tall dude. He like cut his own mom's head off and like fucked her head.
It wasn't. I know who you're talking about. Casey was pretty big too.
Yeah, he was pretty big. But I was thinking like you could take them all. You put them in this enclosed area similar to like Hunger Games, but what you do is none of them know each other and none of them know that each other is going to be there. What you do is you give them each their own little thing where it's like, all right, you're going to be, people are trying to kill you, but also there are people that you can make friends with here. You know, just kind of lie to them and just put them out there. And like, you know, they walk out and they have like their like weapons lined up that they've used in past crimes or whatever. And like how like, you know,
what if they do it actually Hunger Games style and they have to like go get the weapons from like a cornucopia in the middle?
This is kind of fucked up now that I think about it. But yeah, that would be great. You know,
that would be a sweet game. What if they did Manhunt 3 like that? Where it's just like, where it's not in like a dark, grungy house like the previous Manhunt games, but you're on like a tropical island. You know what I mean?
You just fucking murder people with everything but normal weapons.
Yes, dude.
You just gotta like kill someone with a pineapple.
And you're just fucking somebody up. That'd be awesome, dude.
Definitely. No, that was a good one. Who do you think would win it though?
I'm gonna go with Gaines on that one.
Okay, I'm gonna say Richard Kuklinski. But, okay, thanks, Sarah.
Thanks,
Those
Sarah.
were dope.
Yeah, great question.
Happy Halloween.
Let's see. Oh, you might want to get John's question pulled up.
Okay, I'm gonna bring. John messaged me a question, so we're going into listener questions right now, guys.
Oh yeah, moving on into the listener questions. We got Anthony Hernandez here. He says, if you could make any PG game into a horror game, what would y'all pick? Something like Mario Party, but with Pyramid Head chasing them down while they hide. So, I can get behind that. You know, I think something kind of like this, like an idea that somebody had like this, was probably fucking Luigi's Mansion. I feel like that's how Luigi's Mansion probably got started. They're like, what can we do to make a fucking PG game scary? You know?
Luigi's Mansion, that could be scary, but
What if you had like a Sonic game that was like horror themed? You know what I mean? And the whole idea is that you're running away really fast.
It's the same game, but there's scary shit behind you the whole time.
You put some scary shit behind Sonic, give him a little motivation.
Yeah, dude, like that giant orca.
It could be called Sonic Scary Adventures or something, you know.
Okay, I like that. Sonic Spooks.
Sonic Spooks, yeah.
I would say
Donkey Kong would be a cool
I'd say Mario Kart.
person to get like a horror theme thing going, I think.
Like I guess Donkey Kong. I mean, you're a bunch of gorillas. I mean, like,
yeah, you have some horror in the jungle, bro.
Yeah.
No, you're not feeling that?
I just don't see why you're trying to spook some gorillas.
Why not?
You know, like I could understand like wanting to hunt down like people, you know, but not like gorillas. Gorillas are great. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I don't want to hunt them down. I want to beat down the forces of evil.
Okay, you're playing as
you're DK. It's like Donkey Kong 64, but like with scary shit.
Okay. They have Scary Kong.
Yeah, there you go. Now you're getting it.
Okay.
Now you're getting it.
I would say Zelda would be a really easy one to do, like to make scary. They kind of already did that.
Yeah.
We've already talked about that, actually.
Yep.
So,
True.
This is hard, actually. I feel like I should have gave this more thought.
Me too.
But let me give it one more. Let me try one more. Family game. I like the pyramid head thing. He kind of like he gave it to us, and then he gave us the fucking best
The perfect
idea.
answer.
Why would you give us the answer, Anthony?
Yeah, you guys got to stop answering our questions for us. No, I'm just kidding.
Anthony's like, hey, what would be really scary? Like this scary. And it's like, oh, thanks, Anthony. No, I'm just kidding. I love you, but still, fucking, god damn it, Anthony. So let's go ahead and do some of John's questions because he gave us a couple.
Okay.
Question: do you think that lethal injection is honestly the most humane way to execute, or do you think that because it works to paralyze the functions, it could be the most painful of all, but you can't tell because of the lack of expressibility? First off, this is the most real question, John. I don't know.
No, it's actually a really good question.
It is a really good question. This is a dark, dark question.
Frankly, and this is going to sound awful, but I think the most humane way to kill somebody would probably be just to shoot them in the head.
Probably so.
I think it would be the fastest, most efficient, cheapest. Aside from it being messy, I think it would probably be the quickest way to kill somebody. I don't know. If I was gonna go, I would much rather take a bullet in the brain than a fucking arm full of fucking whatever that shit they shoot into you is. You know what I mean? Like,
my thing is like, you'll never know if it's painful, because I mean they can't really ask the person.
I mean they could.
Well, because apparently,
hey, does it hurt? Blink if it hurts.
It's supposed to paralyze you. It numbs you and paralyzes you before they put in the shit. So
I don't know.
It's a couple
just
of different
to me,
things.
that just doesn't seem like what I would want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if I had the choice, I would much rather I would rather receive a lethal injection than an electric chair. I think.
Oh fuck yeah!
I think
don't
an electric
me.
chair would suck ass.
I can't believe that was a real thing.
I would rather receive the guillotine than both of them. You know what I mean?
No.
I think if I had to go,
what if it's stuck, dude? What if it didn't cut all the way through? And you just got half of your fucking head hanging in? You're like, oh my god, this hurts.
I don't think it would get stuck.
I mean, neither did the people that it got stuck on, I
mean, it's just, I don't know. I would rather take my chances with that than the fucking electric chair not electrocuting me all the way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just fucked up. Yeah.
I would personally rather get shot in the head than any of that. You know what I mean? But, I think the big issue with why they're not just shooting people in the head for execution is that somebody has to live with the guilt of that. You know what I mean?
I don't think that's the issue. I mean, you already have
I guess
somebody who kills them anyways.
Push the plunger on that thing.
I think the
but it's
difference,
less gruesome.
Yeah, I think
for the people that have to sit there afterwards. You know what I mean? But for the person who's actually getting shot, I feel like it would be way better.
It'd be better for them, but it sucked for their family whenever they have to bury him. But I mean, at that point, it's my stance on that is if it's been proven that you should be on death penalty, then fuck it.
Well, I'm sure there's a way if they knew, they were gonna they could shoot him in a way that it would be less obtrusive. They're not just gonna blow their whole face off with a shotgun or something. They probably just find the lowest required caliber gun and
or
put it.
Check it out. Check it out. They're on death row. They're hanging out. The way death row works, you never know when it's coming. And what they do is that they randomly shoot you with a dart that injects you with the lethal injection chemicals instantly, but it happens at a random.
That would make death rows so much scarier. You're just constantly sitting there waiting for a dart. I would be fucking terrified, dude.
Just
that
that
would be the ultimate.
Just do it, man.
That would be the ultimate punishment, man. Fucking like, I've been on death row for 30 years, man. Just kill me.
Just they never do it.
God, that would
your
suck
whole
ass.
life till the last
Just
day.
terrified.
You're like in the hospital with like a ginormous tumor or something, and like that. Like this is your last 10 minutes. Say goodbye to your family. Your family's like walking in the door to say goodbye, and then the dart hits you.
Man, I heard somewhere that they don't get last meals anymore.
No, they do, but it's not like the lavish. Like you still just get your normal ass meal.
They don't. Well, no, I mean, like, of course they get a meal, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
they don't get to pick their last meal. Like,
Yeah,
back
because
in
it
the
was
day-
getting like annoying. Like they were asking for dumb shit. They were asking for dumb shit. They would be like, "Oh, well, I want like everything from Arby's, like one of everything from Arby's," and they're like, "What the fuck, dude? Like somebody has to go get that shit." Arby's
Maybe they
doesn't
should
fucking
just put
deliver,
like a
dude.
Maybe they should put like a price limit on it or
Yeah,
something.
you got
But I don't think they should
$5
just cut
menu
that all
items.
together. You know, I think that's kind of a cool thing that they were doing for those fools for a while. You know, now it's just like, oh, sorry guys. You know what I think it was? That one movie where that dude like gets the T-bone steak and then like stabs the guy with the steak bone. I think they're worried about that shit.
I don't think so. I think they just got tired. They were like, "Wait a minute, these guys have murdered people. You know, like why do we even fucking?"
So they don't deserve some fucking Arby's
This
for their
is
fucking.
this is political. We're getting too political on this. I'm just saying.
No, you're right. You're right.
Fuck
you're
'em.
right.
Anyways,
But what if it was you?
well, if I had murdered somebody, I would have to live with that, you know,
You
or die
wouldn't
with
want
that.
some lobster right before you die.
Probably not. I'd probably be more
Yeah,
anxious
that's
about
another
dying.
thing. I don't think I would even care about the food, honestly.
I'd be like, guys, how about I just
that would
don't
be the
die?
most depressing part of the whole
Yeah.
thing. I'd have all this good food, and I'd just be like, oh, shit, I'm not even hungry.
I don't even get to
Sucks.
shit this shit out.
Maybe you do, but just like,
Or you
as
eat
you
it.
die, like...
It's like, this is going to be in my body for eternity. I'd get something nice and calming, like chamomile tea. No, just
Chamomile
kidding.
tea? That's your last meal? That would be lame as fuck. Just slurp it really loud. Can somebody hurry this guy's execution up?
I want 20 cans of soda. And it's like... just like
Did
all the
y'all have
worst.
to get him the mini cans?
Anyways, question 2. If there was a zombie apocalypse, which one of your listeners would die first? Damn.
Probably me.
You're not a listener.
I listen.
Yeah, but you're not a listener. I would have to say probably... trying to think. I think probably Anthony, just because I've talked to him about it before, and he's got a very selfish idea of how he's going to handle it. He's going to kill everyone in his apartment complex right whenever he finds out about that. I'm giving away your game plan, Anthony. He was like, you know, if they came on and they were like, zombie apocalypse is starting, he said he would walk into his neighbor's house, shoot them in the fucking head, and like kill everyone just because he wouldn't want to have to share resources, and also they would eventually turn into zombies and you have to deal with them. And
What if it's like The Walking Dead, and because he shoots them, they turn into zombies?
I guess that's kind of where I was going with this. It seems his game plan is whack. So Anthony would die first.
All right, yeah, I'm going to jump on that train. Sorry, Anthony.
And then final question. Use whichever non-video game question you want. Oh, okay. Okay, so your co-host best friend tells you in secret that he has a body in his trunk. You know this to be his honest reaction, and no, he's not joking. He says someone pissed him off in a parking lot, and he just lost it. Couldn't control himself. He has fully decided to bury the body and completely forget about it. Will you help your homie and ride or die? Or snitch like a bitch when the authorities start asking questions? God.
Damn.
Now,
The real questions today.
so, I mean, okay. first off, Brent, would you even come to me if you killed somebody and you had them in your
don't
truck?
take this the wrong way. I probably wouldn't go to anybody.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant. Like,
I would probably deal with that shit all by myself. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, like I
Nothing
feel like
personal. I definitely don't think you'd like tell on me or anything. I just wouldn't. I just wouldn't tell anybody.
because I feel like you'd end up killing me because you wouldn't trust that I would keep my mouth shut.
I definitely wouldn't kill you,
or at least like lock me somewhere, and then I'd be like,
I wouldn't do
"Yo,
any of
dude,
that.
I don't care, man. I ain't gonna tell nobody." And you'd be like, "No, you're gonna fucking stay." No, but like, see, that's the thing is like, I agree with you. I wouldn't want to put that on Brent.
Exactly. That's another thing. I wouldn't want you to have to carry that burden. You know?
Yeah, it's like I just killed it. I don't want him to have to face lethal injection. You know, because I got into an argument at the fucking like Ross parking lot or whatever. Over
dress for less. Rob.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. Like, that's a good question.
I mean, just for argument's sake, if Jamal showed up and he did have a body, I mean, you know, we go hide that shit. You know what I mean? But I don't think Jamal.
I wouldn't do that.
I don't think Jamal would tell anybody. Like, you know, I think me and Jamal would both handle this very similarly.
Yeah.
We would probably just kind of like, first of all, we'd start working on an alibi. You know what I mean? We'd fucking go hide that shit, and then we wouldn't tell anybody ever.
You would know if I killed somebody. I'm just saying, like, everyone would know that it was me because I am the most paranoid fuck in the world. The cops would walk up just to be like, "Hey, we found a dead body," and I'd be like shaking, and I'd be like, "Oh, that's fucking weird, dude." Like, I don't know why.
See,
why? And they'd be like, "What do you mean you don't know why?"
That's not how I would get caught. I would get caught because some of my hair would fall out of the crime scene or some shit. That's the only way. Like, if it came down
if
to
they
like
saw you on a camera, it's not very hard to. Your haircut is like Brent Bass.
Exactly. If I somehow pulled off the crime without leaving any evidence behind, it's over. It's a wrap. You know, like they're never gonna catch me because I'm not gonna. You know. Like, I feel like I'm pretty cool under pressure. Like we were talking about earlier, I think the VR has, like, desensitized me to, like, high-pressure situations, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I feel like, yeah, you would be very calm in the situation. But I think, like, we could never run for any political office now. I'm just going to throw that out there. Like, this episode has definitely put the final nail in the coffin. Like... We'd never make it in any, like, just anywhere. I think now we have to make it with GameSpeak. Now you guys have to support us on Patreon. Otherwise, we'll be homeless forever.
Yep. Thanks, John.
Good job, John.
Good job, John.
What other questions you got over there? Thanks, John. Happy Halloween.
Oh, man. Those questions were so good. I almost forgot about the rest of these busters.
Damn.
No, I'm just kidding. Josh Pantoja.
Pantoja?
He says, when are we getting Phantasy Star Online 2 in the U.S.?
Boy, I don't know.
I don't know.
Do I look like Phantasy Star to you? Do I look like I know when the second one's coming? No.
Shit.
No, yeah, I don't know, honestly. I never really played much Phantasy Star. I know it was on GameCube. I know that was dope.
Here, I will let Jamel start answering the next question, and I'll look it up for you.
Okay.
How about that? Thomas Shepard says, which Resident Evil game is the scariest of the franchise? And he says, personally, I put down Resident Evil 7. Scary as fuck.
Man, I'm just now playing through the first 2 games. The only one that I've actually fully beat besides the first one now is Resident Evil 4 and 5. And 5 I don't really consider scary. It was more of just like an action game. But 4 was pretty good. Not pretty good. It was amazing. But I don't think it was scary like 1 was. I think 1... So far, 1 is the most terrifying for me. But that's just because I've played it most recently and I remember everything from it. But I think Resident Evil 7, if I were to play it from front to back, would probably be the scariest. Like, just because it's the most modern and they know how to make shit scary. You know what I'm saying? So that's my answer to that.
I personally think 7 was probably the scariest, but I think it's just because it was like kind of a departure from what they were doing. You know what I mean?
And you played it fully in VR.
Yeah. Yeah, that didn't hurt. But if I'm going to exclude 7 for a little bit. The Resident Evil Revelations 2 scared me a little bit. And I don't know why. It wasn't particularly scary compared to some of the games. But it was a lot of fun, and it had its scary moments. I don't know.
I definitely like the idea of, or I don't know why this hasn't been done, if it hasn't been done, but a Resident Evil escape room would be fucking perfect. Like, literally, why has that not been done? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just in, like, a fucking lab, like, in Raccoon City somewhere, or, like, underground, trying to get out. I think that would be dope. Just gotta throw that out there.
So, it looks like you're not gonna get Phantasy Star Online 2. Sorry. Too
not
bad.
Happening.
It's only in Japan. But, you could probably just buy the Japanese version on online. I'm sure they have language options in the game, like most modern games.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
Let's see. Moving on.
Jeffrey
so
Lewis.
Many
questions
I know.
Today. Thank you, guys.
Love you guys. Y'all are the best. Jeffrey Lewis says, "What's 2 things you hate about most horror games, i.e., jump scares or bad plots?" Well, those are 2 great examples. Jump scares and bad plots.
Happy Halloween, Josh. Anyways, and Pantoja, I had to let you know. So things that I don't like about them, or like that are trite, I guess would be like, probably the story in most of them. Most of them typically have like dude, I don't know why. I really fucking love Resident Evil. I like the lore. I like the background story. I like what's happening. I like all of it.
I like how Resident Evil does a great job of balancing scary and not defenseless.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, some games are scary because you can't defend yourself. And that's not the case with Resident Evil. Not any of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You always have some kind of weapon. You always feel like you can handle most things that the game will throw at you, but you're still have that little bit of fear. You know what I mean?
Because it's secluded. They always find a way to leave you secluded and trapped in a small, confined space with weird camera angles. But like, or just, creatures that you can't explain, and the environment is just disturbing. So basically, it's scary games that are just nothing but jump scares, or scary games like Alice Madness Returns, where it's not actually scary. Like, it's like they fall flat on the scary aspect.
Agreed.
It's just like a depressing, like, color,
Or games where, like, not even just a bad plot, but just complete almost lack of plot. Like lack of character building, like Layers of Fear. Games that otherwise could have been great games if they had had more, like, actual development of the characters and stuff. You know what I mean?
Like had a good writer on the game, like that. That's a huge issue for me. Like, the game's story has to be good for me to care about it.
Yeah, it has to keep you going. That's what made Outlast so enjoyable. Is like there's this weird story that keeps you pushing through the game. Like, there's always this like thin light at the end of the tunnel that you're like following through the whole game, like trying to like. I don't know.
Yeah, and like
there's like a little dangles of hope. It just like puts on a string and hangs in front of your face and like snatches away really fast at the last second every time. You know what I mean? Like
definitely, yeah.
But yeah.
So happy Halloween,
yes,
Jeff.
Let's see. We got Phoenix Williams here. He says,
Fine.
He says, what television shows do you think could potentially be made into great games?
Boy Meets World. No, I'm just kidding.
Boy Meets World.
Boy Meets World.
I think it'd be cool to do a Hill House game, but like in the style of like Until Dawn. You know what I mean?
I could see that, where you get different endings and stuff.
Mm-hmm. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, because honestly, I think the ending of that show is probably my least favorite part. Like,
really?
Yeah, I think I'm not going to talk about it, but yeah, it was my least favorite.
I liked how it ended.
I like everything up till the end, and it's not that I don't like the ending. I just feel like it was the weakest part of the whole show. Like, I thought the show was like fucking amazing.
I thought it kind of all tied together nicely at the end there.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. It was interesting.
Definitely. Let me think of a TV show that would make a great game. Obviously, it's already been done before with Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, the greatest TV show turned into a game.
A TV show that would make a great game. Okay, hold up.
Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones would make a fucking awesome game.
Yeah.
But not a Telltale game. I want like a legit,
like an actual Game of Thrones game.
Yeah, maybe like an
open world kind of game.
Yeah, where you could go to the different kingdoms or whatever. But I think that would be cool.
I think Dexter would be a cool game if you set it up like Manhunt. You know what I mean? But like every level was specifically focused on one person, right? And you're like, I don't know. It's kind of like Hitman, also. But like it's like Hitman, but instead of just killing them, you have to like drug them and get them to the kill room and then kill them. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So like there's a process. It's not just like it's like Hitman with more steps. Like you got to drug them, get the body out of whatever place they're in, put it in a car, and take it back to whatever kill room. Or you can choose to set up the kill room there. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of factors I think you can make a cool game out of that.
Definitely. You know? I think I got the master answer right here. It's coming. Twilight Zone.
Ooh, then you could kind of do whatever you want. That'd be cool.
Or like
you
have
could
like
follow
specific
one guy
stories.
like going through different stories, like
trying to get out of the Twilight Zone.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's like an episode within an episode. Like he's like he gets sucked into his fucking TV while the Twilight Zone's playing or something, and then he has to like go through different episodes of the Twilight Zone.
But it's like black and white, but just like really good graphics.
Yeah, that'd be tight. Like what's Wilson's Heart? Wilson's Heart.
Yeah, and he like meets like different people in each of the like realms of the Twilight Zone, and
that'd
they're
be
like,
dope.
"I've been here for what feels like an eternity or whatever," or like like some of them talk about like just different things, or like the monster that lives out in the bushes or whatever, or like the kid that the town is afraid of, like you meet them and like have to deal with that situation, almost like a Kingdom Hearts, but
with different Twilight Zone tales.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. Cool. So what else we got?
Let's see. We have
Happy birthday. Just happy Halloween, Phoenix. Just happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Allison, my sister,
what's
says,
up, Allie?
Yeah, what's up, Allie? She says,
happy
so
Halloween.
Our TV is kind of dirty, and Tim was convinced this person in Red Dead Redemption 2 was named Susan Hamster. Obviously not. I'm guessing it says Grimshaw. Either way, is the hamster lady important? I guess I'm not far enough to know yet, but I know that the Grimshaws are important. So, maybe you'll run into a Susan. Maybe I'll run into a Susan. But I know that the Grimshaws are an important family in the Red Dead Redemption 2 universe, so.
And hamsters are important in all universes. so either way, you're in for a treat. Happy Halloween. And that goes to everyone. Thank you for the questions, guys. We hope you had as much fun as we did. We're going to round out the show with Brent's segment, This Week in Gaming History.
Oh, yes. We got a couple good ones this week. Both of these games, I got two of them for you, came out on Halloween.
Ooh.
One of them came out Halloween 1996.
Hold up. What console?
PS1, baby.
Is it something spooky or having to do with Halloween?
It's a little spooky. It's a little spooky. It's maybe not the spookiest thing you ever played.
Is it medieval?
No. It's probably the spookiest game involving cars.
Ooh. Twisted Metal 2.
Hey, there you go.
Boom.
Boom.
Okay.
Yeah, that came out in 96, believe it or not.
Creepiest game driving cars.
And then on Halloween of 2006.
Oh, that's recent. Well, that's fucking over 10 years ago.
That's recent.
Depression. We're old. Okay.
Recent enough for a brand new PSP release.
Oh, God. And it came out on Halloween.
Halloween. PSP.
Is it a scary game?
Not at all.
Is it God of War?
No, but it is one of the more notable remake kind of games like that on PSP.
Is it Uncharted?
No.
Was it?
I don't even know if they had an Uncharted game on PSP.
2006, man. That's a long time ago. Now that I think about it, I really don't know. What was it? What was
Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories.
Nice. I would have never guessed that. Yeah. I was thinking, like, because you said it was like God of War, I was like, what action?
Well, in the respect that
type
it's like a full platform, full console quality game on like,
brought over.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. Well, that was it, guys. Remember, you've been listening to GameSpeak Podcast, courtesy of createforsanity.com. The show posts for free every Wednesday on all podcast directories. Be sure to submit any questions you want read on the show to GameSpeak Podcast Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/GameSpeak Podcast. Check out our video content on YouTube if you're not already watching it there. And if you are, leave us a like, hit the subscribe button, do all that other YouTube stuff. All you have to do is search Create for Sanity. It's all one word if you want to find us on there. And if you want to stay up to date with your boys, you can find me on the Twitter, at the handle Aljaafreh Jamal and Brent at Brent Has One. And check out the GameSpeak Podcast Instagram. Until next time, listeners, happy Halloween! Happy Halloween!